Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of The Random Show with your host, Agostino Zinga. It's The Random Show. We're back again, back in your head top, back in your ears, back in your eardrums. What's going on? How you doing? How you feeling? How you doing? How you feeling? How you doing? How you feeling? Let me know in the stream chat if you're there. Let me know in the stream chat if you're there. We're live, we're queer, and we're ready to rock. We are ready to rock. We are ready to rock. What's happening, people? What's the deal? How you all doing? Holler if you hear me. Holler if you see me. Let me know in the stream chat if you can see and you can hear me. Let me know in the stream chat if you can hear me and if you can see me. It's The Random Show. What's happening? What's crack-a-lacking? Big up everybody in the stream. Big up everybody in the stream chat. Big up everybody in the stream chat. Wagwan to what's going on? Wagwan to my guy NJ Ranger. Hope you're well, bro. Hope you're proud of me, brother. Hope you're proud of me, NJ Ranger. What's going on? Stephen Castaneda, Wagwan, my guy. Uche, what's going on, lovely? How are you doing? Sarlux, how are you, sir? Who do I see here? Young Old Vibes. Hello, madam. How are you? Hope you're well. Don Dotter, what's going on? Chris Mack, I see you. What's happening, people? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Let me go. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know in the stream chat. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. What's going on? I like the stream recording already because you came through according to prophecy. Big up, big up, big up. Big up NJ Ranger. Yeah, big up NJ Ranger. Big up NJ Ranger, appreciate it, brother. Big up Uche. Took a 3-hour exam today. Let the freak off begin. Exactly. Imagine feeling like you want to be in freak off mode after an exam. To be honest, it makes sense, doesn't it? It does make sense. The last thing you want is exam talk. You just want to go to pure degeneracy. Don't worry, we're going to tap into some degeneracy today, Uche. We're going to tap into some pure degeneracy. Unfortunately, it does involve diddling. So it's not, you know what I mean? I'm not going to enjoy it too much, but it is what it is, isn't it? I'm just a servant of the people. I'm just a servant of the people. That's what I am, you know? Call me Agostino Lemon. Call me Aggie Lemon, okay? That's all I am. I'm just a news broadcaster, really. I just report the news, you know? It's not my fault all these guys are diddling. It's not my fault all these guys are PDFs. I'm just reporting the news to you, man. I'm a servant of the people. Big up Gamebred Footballer. What's going on, my friend? What's going on, Gamebred Footballer? Hope you are, brother. Hope you are. Z, what's good, Z? What's good, Z? What's happening? Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you. And yeah, man, let's fucking go, innit? Let's fucking go. Let's lock in. Today's stream will probably be about 4 hours or so, because I'm off tomorrow, so I'm aiming to do something a bit mad. Right? Here's what I'm aiming to do, because I'm off tomorrow, so I'm aiming to midweek off days are the worst because no one's really around. So I'm off on a weekday, but then there's no one to hang out with. So I'm going to do a mad thing. I want to stream for about 4 hours. Then I'm going to leave, go to the gym, come back, nap, wake up, and then stream again. You get me? That's what I'm going to do. So let's see if I can do that. So I'm probably going to do about 4 hours. I'm going to head to the gym maybe about 4 a.m. my time, maybe 5. Get a quick workout in and then leave in it. Oh, by the way, did I tell you guys? Did I let you guys know? One time, I don't know what stream it was, but ages ago, I was doing a stream, doing a random show, and I then decided to go straight to the gym because the gym that is open near me is a 24-hour one. You just have to enter your fucking code in the door and walk in. Pretty good, right? You know what I realized? I didn't know this is a thing. Let me know this is a thing. Number one, my gym on those early mornings is like a cruising spot for gay guys, number one, clearly. And number two, I saw at least one girl filming what looked like OF content. She was doing very suggestive poses in the fucking studio and shit with her camera. So people cruise early in the morning and they also film OF content, which makes sense, isn't it? If you're a girl and you go on OF, a great place to go and film would be a gym that's got a security cameras, locks and shit, so you can go in and quickly film your content. And because it's like 4 a.m. in the morning, hardly anyone's gonna be there. You can get your little, you know, your little content in, your little sizzle reel, your little B-roll, and then keep it moving. And if you're on a cruising tip and you're looking for some fellas, 4 a.m. is also a good time because The only people in there are gonna be wannabe David Goggins like me and people that want to suck some dick. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, okay, interesting. I was just in there doing my fucking measly little push presses and shit, noticing like, what are all these like really attractive, handsome looking dudes all doing and smiling at each other? Huh. Looking at me like I'm a thumb. And also, what is this girl doing standing in front of a mirror, bending over super suggestively? Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, interesting revelations. AZ's head peeking around the corner, kicked locked in on the nyash. Now, to be honest, I just saw it like in passing because I'm kind of like, I'm very militant in the things that I do. I'm sure some of you guys have noticed I have my things. I do them a particular way. And when it comes to the gym, I really do try to avoid any kind of like human contact, whether it's looking, standing, but obviously at 4, you can't help it because literally it's empty. So as I was walking around, I literally looked into the studio and saw some girl doing very suggestive bends over. She had a camera on a tripod, she had a light beaming at her and shit. So I couldn't avoid seeing it, but I didn't really stare too long. I just kept it moving. And to be honest, you know what I mean? Let her do her thing, innit? She's in the gym early, let her do her thing, innit? She pays her membership fee like me. She went in there at 4 a.m. to record some content, let her do her thing. Hopefully she gets her OF numbers up, you feel me? You feel me? Cool. Enough about that. Let's roll on to the fucking show. So, first things first to talk about. I'm sure some of you guys know and you've all heard about Dr. Disrespect. Unfortunately, Dr. Disrespect has been revealed to be a bit of a creepo and to be a bit of a weirdo. He's been alleged to have text or messaged a minor back in the day, allegedly, while he was at Twitch, which is the reason why he got kicked off of Twitch. He was one of the first, I think, big streamers that kind of got the whole hee-haw from Twitch. At the time it happened, no one really knew what the explanation was behind it. Famously, Twitch are very coy and very kind of secretive about why they ban people. Maybe they let you know when you've been banned, but they don't really let the public know. And at the time, I'm not going to lie, I don't know if I'm misremembering this, but I thought Dr. Disrespect got banned from Twitch because of his political leanings. I thought maybe he was too much of a centrist, maybe too much of a right-winger for a super liberal platform like Twitch. And during the whole Trump administration thing, maybe he said some racist stuff and they booted him. That's what I thought. But allegedly, that's not the case. Allegedly, according to a couple of people who came out and said some stuff on their interviews, he was texting somebody he shouldn't have texted. Somebody at Twitch staff saw his messages and then decided to kick him off. But I guess maybe because it's not legally right or justifiable to kick somebody off because you found something in their private messages, they ended up going to court for it. They ended up settling out of court. So technically he did something obviously heinous, right, in terms of him contacting a kid, but the way they got hold of that information was because they went through his private DMs. So I wonder if they had to settle that case because the way they gathered the information was quote unquote illegal. That could be the case. I don't know. Either way, everyone's been speculating for a long time. Why did Dr. Disrespect get banned from Twitch? Why did he get banned? Why did he get banned? Why did he get banned? No one knew. He was also kind of coy about it, and everyone, I think, kind of moved on. He went to YouTube, whatever it may be. But then out of the blue, these guys who were Twitch staff and whatever, I guess really don't like the guy and decided to just air him out like randomly. I don't know what he did to these guys. Maybe they are really, you know, sensitive to the accusations itself, whatever it may be. They put out in public and said no, he didn't get banned for opinions, whether he got banned because he's a fucking PDF allegedly, and they decided to put that information out there. And in Dr. Disrespect, I'm not gonna lie, I did give it benefit of the doubt because it seemed like to me a very convenient explanation for why he got booted. Initially when the story came out, I was like, nah, he can't be a PDF, that doesn't make sense. After all these years, now they're saying he's a PDF. It was too convenient, right? It was too much of an easy, oh, okay, that's why he got kicked off, case closed type of thing. Too much of an easy conclusion. So I doubted it a bit. But then when he came out and he gave a statement on his stream, kind of, and he didn't categorically deny the allegations, I was like, he did that shit. The same thing I said about Brian Callen. I remember, I forgot who the stream chatter was. You guys remember. The last time we were doing a stream and I was kind of going in on Brian Callen about the allegations, somebody in here was kind of defending Callen and kind of, you know, giving me some pushback and stuff, and essentially saying that there's nothing he could say that would ever make anybody believe he didn't do it. And I kind of agreed. But my main sticking point with Brian Callen and his R-word allegations were that he never categorically he did say he didn't do it, but he never provided an alternative timeline of events. Because that woman, who was an ex-girlfriend of Brian Callen, she went in super deep with details. She provided corroborating witnesses at the time who remember her telling them at the time. So it's not like she just decided to get him for money now because she's down bad. She provided a timeline of events. And the other thing that makes the Brian Callen R-word allegations feel more legit is that he has a history of saying some dicey things about the R-word. And if you remember in that Los Angeles Times article, there were 3 other allegations that seemed like something Brian Callen would do. Primarily, the one for me that sticks out is the allegation that he sexually harassed this American Apparel employee. She was helping him buy some stuff. He came out of the change room in just his underwear, asking her where some clothes were, which is a little bit inappropriate. Then allegedly, according to her, he tried to kiss her, right? That for me is enough reason to kind of cast a bit of doubt onto whether or not he's innocent or not, right? But he never, again, like I say, he never provided an alternative timeline event. Actually, come to think of it, tomorrow, I'm going to do another Patreon. I've got a Patreon at the moment. It's about Brendan being a liar, and it's about that comment he made about being invited to the 2 Bears 5K. So check that out on my Patreon. Link is down below. But I'm going to do another Patreon tomorrow talking in detail a little bit about these Brian Callen allegations and going over what he said on episode 1000 when he kind of explained how it affected his career. Because I think it needs kind of refreshing. But essentially, I think when it comes to this type of allegations, especially if you're a man, if somebody accuses you of the R word, or if somebody accuses you of touching kids, yo, big up Theodore. Appreciate you, brother.
Hey Oz, mind if I crash at your place? I was charged with triple homicide but acquitted in court, so it's not relevant.
Theodore, exactly. Theodore, exactly. Thank you so much. Big up Theodore, man. Always coming with the fucking bangers. Big up fucking Ricky Pitcher. Big up Ricky Pitcher, brother. You passed a drug test. Great to hear, brother. Great to hear. Big up Andrew W. Wagwan. Gabriel Footballer. Yeah. I've got that clip ready to roll, brother. I've got that clip ready to roll, bro. Ready to roll, broski. You read my mind. So, going back to this one. Any man that gets accused of the R word and that gets accused of touching kids, I think you owe it to yourself, to your family, to your legacy, right? That you defend yourself to the nth degree. And if somebody just blindly accuses you of something without any proof, without any, without it being true at all, you have to defend yourself super hard, aggressively, and come out and say, categorically deny doing X, Y, and Z. He never said those words. So immediately, tons of people, myself included, were like, he might be a bit guilty now. After I said, you know what, I think it's a bit of a witch hunt, then I reversed my decision as soon as he started speaking. Now, out of the blue, he decided to release a statement. And the statement is kind of crazy because look what he done. He edited the statement 3 times. In maybe the space of an hour, he edited the statement 3 times. Let's read the initial statement. The initial statement before the edit. And big up Twitter, because now they've got this edit function, but it also leaves a trail of how you edited things. So initial statement courtesy of Dr. Disrespect, the Twitch ban. Hello, I'd like to make a quick statement. Let's cut the bullshit. As you guys know, there's no filter with me. I've always been upfront, real, and honest with you guys with anything that I've been up to. No, so let me read that again. Let's cut the fucking bullshit. As you know, there's no filter with me. I've always been upfront and real with you guys on anything that I can be upfront about, and I'm always willing to accept responsibilities, which is why I'm here right now. First and foremost, I do want to apologize to everyone in my community, as well as those close to me and my team and everyone at Midnight Society Game Studio. A lot of people have been left in the dark about what happened yesterday, and with the Midnight Society and I, we made the painful decision collectively to have me step down. Our team is full of incredibly talented people, good people that have their high career ambitions and families, and I never want to jeopardize a culture we have already carefully crafted. Everyone has been everyone has been wanting to know why I was banned from Twitch, but for reasons outside of my control, I was not allowed to say anything for the last several years. Now that the two former Twitch employees have publicly disclosed the accusations, I can now tell you my side of the story regarding the ban. Were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. These were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes lean too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Nothing legal happened. No pictures were shared. No crimes were committed. I never even met the individual. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and that case was resolved by a settlement. Let me be clear. It's not the criminal case against me. No criminal charges have been brought against me. Now, from a moral standpoint, I absolutely take responsibility. I should have never entertained those conversations to begin with. That's on me. That's on me as an adult, a husband and a father. It should have never happened. I get it. I'm not perfect. I'll fucking own my shit. This was stupid. Now, with all that being said, don't get it fucking mistaken. I've seen all the remarks and the labels being thrown around so loosely. Social media is a destructive zone. I'm no fucking predator or pedophile. Are you kidding me? Anyone that truly knows me knows where I stand on those things and with those types of people. Fuck that. That's a different level of disgust that I fucking hate even hearing about. Don't be labeling me the worst of the worst with your exaggerations. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. But I think I've said what I needed to say regarding the ban itself. That's it. That's why Twitch made the decision in 2020. My team, community, industry friends that have supported me, I apologize. I wish I could have said all of this sooner. You guys have always showed me and my family love, support throughout all these years. We love you guys like you can't imagine. I have the fucking best community and circle. If any of these have made you feel uncomfortable, I get it. You don't have to support me anymore, but just know you always have been greatly appreciated. But trust me when I say this to all my haters that live and breathe social media with zero life experiences, I don't give a fuck about you. Finally, if you're uncomfortable with this entire statement and think I'm a piece of shit, that's fine. But I'm not fucking going anywhere. I'm not the same guy that made these mistakes all of those years ago. I'm taking an extended vacation with my family, as mentioned on stream, and I'm coming back with a heavy weight off my shoulders. They want me to disappear? Yeah, fucking right. Okay, cool. The standout point in this, what everybody was really, perturbed by, was this line right here in paragraph, was it 4 or 5? Were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? He then went on to correct that line 2 or 3 times. I think he removed minor, he didn't remove individual or something. So clearly he was feeling a little bit perturbed by it. But can you imagine? I don't even know what a Twitch whisper message is, but let me see. What is a Twitch? What does that look like? The user interface. Is it like a DM thing? Twitch whisper. Is it Twitch whispers? What does that actually look like? Because I remember YouTube back in the day used to have a chat function. Do you guys remember that? YouTube had like a DM function back in the day. It doesn't exist anymore, but I do remember that used to be a thing. So I wonder if Twitch had a similar sort of thing. So what does it look like? Yeah, it's basically a chat. You can DM with, I guess, creators directly. As you can see here from the screenshots on Google Images, it essentially works like Instagram DMs, Facebook DMs, standard shit. I'm confused. I generally am confused. And this is something that I've said on here plenty of times. No, let me start with the first thing. The first thing to start off with is, obviously, this is bad. Obviously, it's really fucking bad. Obviously, he's never going to shake this, unfortunately. Even what he's saying is true. It's over. You're going to be regarded as a PDF for the rest of your life now. It's basically done. And I've said on here plenty of times, like, I'm so thankful that I was never the guy that had the thing for like young girls and stuff. Like, even when I got older and stuff, the idea of like dating somebody 10 years younger, 5 years, it never really like crossed my mind. Like, it's just like, I never understood why guys were so enamored by the idea of like, oh, I'm gonna take this girl's virginity, or this one's really young, this one's quote unquote fresh meat. I never got it. Maybe because I had a big extended family. That might have helped, maybe. Because I had like loads of my extended family were super young. So whenever I think of somebody really young, I imagine them and how hard it is to have conversations with them the older you get, right? It's like when you're like under 15, it's easy. But then as soon as you cross over the 15 threshold, suddenly talking to your 10-year-old cousin, it's a bit hard. Then when you get 20, talking to, yeah, I mean, it's just, so I always feel like, hold on, like, what conversations are you having with these people? Because it's all well and good maybe just smashing them, cool. But some of these guys clearly like to have long-term relationships with really young people. So I never understood that psychology. Like, it might be one thing if you just want to smash and duck out, but if you want to really date them for a long time, like, what are you guys actually talking about day to day? And maybe because I'm a yapper too, that might be the problem. I am a yapper. I do enjoy conversations and hanging out and all that malarkey, way more than anything else. So probably that side of my brain could never really work it out and stuff. But when it comes to this sort of stuff, and you're like a streamer or whatever, I almost look at it as like an opportunity for, like, maybe I won't say like dorks, but I say people that maybe have been not given their time to shine, their time in the light or whatever. You get a chance to build a little bit of an audience, and who knows, maybe within that audience there might be an adult that you might like in your audience, in your community, that you might want to dabble in and have some fun with, some consensual adult fun. I don't really think it's the most constructive and helpful thing to do overall. Probably should have some lines and boundaries put here. But if you want to do so, fair play. I've never understood why there's such a prevalence of like streamers who get caught doing PDF shit. So if you've got an audience and you have some adults in there who willingly would suck your dick and they're of age, why not just do it with them if you want to be that person? Why are you pursuing the young? Like, I never understood it, and it seems to be loads of them, and I'm not too sure if it's because live streaming, content creation attracts like weirdos, myself included. I don't know, or it's because the access. Maybe because you have access to these people, and they look up to you in a way, they like you, they're entertained by you. It's hard to kind of turn it down. I don't know, but it seems to be a pattern. Content creators, live streamers who always seem to get involved with, like, I don't, and part of me doesn't want to believe that this medium, this platform attracts weirdos and creepos, because that would mean I'm one, and I don't think I am personally, right? I don't personally think I am. But maybe that's the case. Maybe this type of platform, this type of medium, this type of delivery mechanism just attracts people who are a little bit off kilter, right? So for me to sit in my room here with a fucking cut off Nike vest, super warm, with no aircon, underneath a light, talking to you guys all around the world, I have to be a little bit unhinged. But does that unhinged then go as far as me wanting to like hook up with a 17-year-old? I don't think so. It's never crossed my mind, not even once. So I just think maybe these people are bad people also. That also might be the case. Maybe they're just bad people. But I think that needs to be studied by somebody way smarter than I am. That needs to be maybe put together in some sort of documentary or something, so we can get to the bottom of why is it all these prominent content creators, live streamers, are always getting involved in situations where they are hooking up with or trying to pursue very young people that they have no business, number one, talking to, and number two, trying to pursue in any kind of romantic sexual way. In my personal opinion, I have no business talking to some 17, 16-year-old on the internet. It's all different if you meet up, if you're like at a fucking event and they come and speak to you and say hi in public, where enough. But there's no way any person over the age of 25 should have a breadcrumb trail of DMs and messages with you with a 16-year-old or 17-year-old. It makes no sense. What are you talking to them about? It's really, 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 really ridiculous. And I wouldn't say you have a responsibility to your audience to not do those type of things. I just think as an adult, you just should act like an adult. It's not even about, your platform, all this sort of nonsense. It's not all that stuff and all that virtue signaling shit. It's just about being a grown-up. Like, just be a grown-up and draw some boundaries. Just be a grown-up and, X yourself in the fucking chat. Make it very clear that this is not appropriate, whatever it may be. But pursuing it and going after it is wild. And then to make matters worse, this guy was acting like Twitch banned him without any due process, without any reason, without any rationale. Oh, it was out of order. Like, it was almost like people were like cheering him on when he was cancelled by Twitch, because it was like, oh, we're trying to fight against these guys. They're sensitive. They're on this whole censorship thing. There's no freedom of speech. When the reality was, he knows deep down why they banned him. Now, is it legal for them to get onto his DMs and all this shit? Probably not. That's probably a little bit sketchy, how they can read your DMs and then use that against you to ban you. But I have to be honest, when I worked at Depop, that was also a thing, because I don't know if you guys know about Depop, and hopefully I'm not getting in trouble for this, but Depop is also a platform, I'm sure some of you guys know this, where it does attract creepos. Because unfortunately on Depop, there's loads of like young girls who post pictures of clothes they want to sell, and most of the time they wear it to show you what the clothes look like. It might be a boob tube, it might be some jean shorts, whatever. And I guess the creepos out there found Depop and found that it was a great place to get content. So some of them would pose as other girls inquiring about items, and they'd be going in the DMs like, hey, hun, I want to buy this top. Could you send me some more pictures? And then the girl will be sending pictures thinking she's talking to a girl when it's actually some guy somewhere. So we had the ability to look in messages and obviously be able to ban people. But I think the process at Depop was like, if somebody alerted us, if they marked something, if they said, oh, inappropriate, then we had the permission to legally go into their DMs and check things. I think that's how it worked out. But that was also kind of sad. I'm not going to lie. Some of the things I saw at Depop behind the scenes of what these young girls were getting messaged from really creepo dudes around the world who are posing as girls and stuff was kind of nauseating. I'm not going to lie. So clearly this is a thing online. I'm not too sure why that's the case, but it is the case. And in this particular regard, like the fact that he came out with this statement and thought he was saying something, he thought he was laying down the law and clearing things up, is absolutely wild. You know, it's insane. It really is insane. But hey, man, at least he came out and he finally admitted what happened. We now have some clarity on the matter. And I guess now everybody knows what he is, you know? He's not going to shake that ever again. He'll be fine. He's got an audience. His fans love him. I'm sure they'll still support him. That's whatever it may be. But now everybody knowing that you did this is wild. And I always think of this sort of stuff with the parents. Sorry, I guess parents, but the partners. Maybe it's because I'm a baby and a bit of a simp and a cuck. But whenever these things happen, I think to myself, how do the partners deal with this? Because allegedly he was caught cheating and he had to admit it on stream and do the whole crying thing and whatever it may be and say that he's going to go to therapy and all that malarkey. That's already embarrassing enough, right? Getting caught in the first place, then having to publicly admit it. But I always wondered, what happens with a family? Like, if you're a wife, what's worse? Your husband getting caught with his trousers down somewhere, or your husband being revealed to have messaged a minor? They're both bad, right? Because you can't probably look at your husband the same way again. But god damn it, bro. And your kids as well. How do they look at you? Your extended family members. That's where it's like, you have to at least think a little bit ahead, you know? Because, you know, the cheating stuff is bad. We all know it. But stuff happens. You can understand why that would occur, right? People get horny. Opportunities arise. Maybe you can't turn it down, whatever. It's still embarrassing. It's still a betrayal. Blah, 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 blah. But, you know. Big up. NJ.
Rinks allegedly definitely did it. It's the Genghis Khan dog. It's the Rogan XGF story. It's the time Bappa was late, with Sanaz. As the old man would say, shit doesn't happen in a vacuum.
Boom, bang, bang. What's the big up NJ Ranger? It's the time Papa was late with Sanaz. I don't remember that. What's that about? What do you mean was late? Do you mean she was late, as in she missed her period? She missed her period. Oh, big up NJ Ranger. Oh, mate. Big up Uche. One of my patients was a teenage girl and her mum kept yelling at her for saying bruh at the end of her sentences. How do you talk like that? Yeah. Women do it too. When I was in school, late 90s, Yahoo chat, older women would send me nudes, to be fair. I was loving it. Oh, sick. Fair play. Fair play. Victoria in Japan. Fair fucking play. I have a video on my channel where Rink sexually harassed her when Bappa was doing drug stuff. Really? Okay, I got to check that. Post it in the fucking Discord and I'll check it tomorrow. Post it in Discord and check it tomorrow. Post it in Discord, check it tomorrow. Post it in Discord, check it tomorrow. Fuck. Yeah. I don't know, man. Painful for this guy. Painful. But also, he must have really pissed off those Twitch employees, innit? Because those motherfuckers hate him, innit? They've hated him for time. I wonder what else he did behind the scenes. They really fucking hated him. You know what I mean? So, anyways, what can you do? What can you do? What can you do? What can you do? Yeah, there's a Discord. There's a Discord. Let me actually put the new link in the chat. Because I think I should have a new link. Let me give you a new link. Because I think that link in the fucking thing is probably expired. Bear with me a second as I get you a new link. There is a Discord. Bear with me while I get you a new link. There we go. Let's go under there. Bish bash bosh. Invite people. Copy. And let's go back to here. So actually, I need to edit the thing as well, don't I? A little bit. Let's edit video too. Okay, I got the disc. I'm gonna update the Discord link in the what you call it, underneath the caption too there. So it should be edited there, and I'm gonna put it also in the chat so you guys can see it. Okay. Let's put it in the chat as well. Bear with me 1 second though. There we go. 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 Cool. You got it. Everyone's got it. Let's go. Cool. So Dr. Disrespect is cooked. Dr. Disrespect is cooked. Cooked. And it couldn't happen to a worse person. It couldn't happen to a worse person. Moving on. Do you want to hear what DSP thinks of Dr. Disrespect getting cooked? I bet you do. I bet you would love to hear what Darkside Phil thinks about Dr. Disrespect getting cooked because he might be a PDF. Well, here is DSP's impression on the whole event. If you're wondering why he's so gleefully happy, it's because he has this weird lust and passion and happiness when people around him fail. He seems to enjoy it because he leans into the whole like cockroach thing, because people call him the pig roach because he makes sounds like a pig, and obviously he survives even though he's a horrible person and keeps quote unquote thriving despite all of his faux pas along the years. So whenever somebody else more successful than him falters, he seems to be gleefully happy about it. It seems to take pleasure in that they failed and I'm still here after 14 years. All right. So if you're wondering why he's so happy about the whole thing, that's why. Let's hear DSP's impression of Dr. Disrespect getting.
About the Dr. Disrespect situation has hit the internet straight from the horse's mouth. All right. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on here. 4 years ago, out of nowhere, Dr. Disrespect was outright banned from Twitch TV. Okay. And at the time, there was absolutely no information at all about why it happened. He wasn't saying anything. Twitch wasn't saying anything. They just said, oh, like a violation of terms of service, and that was it. So no one knew anything about what was happening at all, and it was very bizarre that one of their top, streamers and earners would just be banned outright. Now, a lot of people started getting worried and afraid. Does this mean that this is the beginning of it? It's going to happen to a lot of people. Well, it's...
Big up Young Old Vibes. Did he have a stroke? Why he looks like that? No, he didn't, but I think he might have. He might have secretly had a stroke because he always keeps mentioning some medical issue that he can't talk about. But maybe he did have a stroke, but he just doesn't want to mention it because he knows the trolls will be on him. But yeah, his face just looks like that, unfortunately for him.
It just so happens that after that happened, it did happen to a lot of people, but in various degrees of strength. For example, I was removed from the Twitch Partner Program. When I asked why...
One thing that's really hilarious about the way this video talks, he's got a little jiggle. He almost does it's like that Indian Pakistani thing that people do. Where the little headlock. He kind of does that when he's making his point. And then his jowls start shaking. It's really funny.
Said hateful speech. And I said, provide evidence of hateful speech because I never used it. I want evidence, to which they said, we don't have to provide evidence. Now, they did have to provide evidence. They did not, and I could have sued them, just like Dr. Disrespect went ahead and sued them for banning him. I outright could have sued them and said, hey, this is nonsense. You have to prove that I did something wrong to financially...
And he would have lost, by the way. There's much evidence. I don't know why he keeps saying that he didn't use any hateful speech. Because there's loads of evidence out there. There's loads of compilations, loads of videos of him saying some pretty deplorable things during his entire time streaming. He might argue and say, I wasn't on Twitch then or whatever, and be semantics man. But there's plenty of video evidence of this guy being a bit of a piece of shit on the internet and saying some pretty dicey things. So if any streaming platform sees him and is like, hey, we don't want you to represent our brand, we don't want you to be on our platform, and bans him, they're well within their rights to do so. So I don't know why he keeps being a stickler on this. Oh, I never said anything hateful. It's like, yeah, you did. You're also the king of hate. You are essentially a hateful person.
He punished me and kicked me out of your program, but I didn't do that. Instead, I came here to YouTube, and I've been here now for the greater part of over, 3 years. And I like being here. I don't have to worry about walking on eggshells and being falsely accused of things I don't do. Okay? So anyway, after this happening to me, by the way, it happened to others, it happened to Wings of Redemption, it happened to a lot of people on Twitch. I almost feel like the banning of Dr. Disrespect opened the door for Twitch to feel like they could go ahead and just start having consequences laid out for people that they deemed controversial and who essentially might be a risk to their public image. Which
you're allowed to do that as a private business, by the way. You're allowed to say who you do and do not want to do business with as a private business. I don't know why these guys think they're entitled to stream. They're entitled to a career. They're entitled to money. I would say it's a privilege, but it's an opportunity. It's a platform that you can use. Cool. But you're not entitled to it. Simple as that. If they decide to ban you and get rid of you, it is what it is. Especially these guys who are incredibly unlikable. Wings, Boogie, DSP, even Dr. Disrespect to a certain extent. It makes sense why they would ban you. You guys are horrible people.
Which is absolutely hilarious, because then they proceeded to turn the entire site into softcore porn. So figure that one out, right? I mean, it really doesn't make any fucking sense. It's obvious the people over there have no idea how to run a business and have always been unprofessional. Anyway, in regards to the Dr. Disrespect
what's happening? Why
situation,
cool.
Things have happened over the years. Dr. Disrespect left Twitch because he was banned and came to YouTube. Continued to be insanely successful here on YouTube, although he's outright admitted he makes less money on YouTube than he did on Twitch. That doesn't surprise me. Seriously, like on YouTube, you just can't get the viewership you got on Twitch. There's none of that open, look at the top streamers and people coming over. It's actually hard to even find live streams on YouTube. They don't have a section for it, really. It's very engagement. Everything's different on YouTube. Now, I still like streaming on YouTube, don't get me wrong. But I could totally see why he says it's less profitable. It is less profitable. Since I've been here full-time on YouTube, I have not gotten the level of memberships as I had subscribers on Twitch. There's no Prime subs here, per se. There's no real incentive or anything at all to really do things. Like, there's no cheering wars. There's no cheering trains. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff. So, I get it. I understand why it's less profitable on YouTube. I'm in the same boat, right? And then guess what he did? He sued Twitch. He did. He outright went and he sued Twitch. Okay? And when he sued Twitch, it was all behind doors. It was never publicly disclosed what the suing was about besides that he had been banned. And guess what? There was a settlement, meaning Twitch would have lost, all right? And Twitch paid Dr. Disrespect a big settlement of money for the fact that they banned him outright without due discourse.
Look how excited he is. Look how excited he is about it.
They did
so
something wrong and ripped
when your
him
time
off
comes, I'm going to be laugh.
the court case.
When your time comes,
Okay?
I'm going to dance
Now,
on your
that's
grave.
all that's
You
ever been
fucking
said,
ugly cunt.
because outside of that, all right, it's all legally, like, behind closed doors, NDAs. You can't talk about it. So Dr. Disrespect has never said anything further. Twitch has never said anything further. And so for the greater part of almost 4 years, this entire process has been completely clandestine, shady, behind the scenes. We may never know what happened. Okay? Well.
Look how happy he is. Look him. Bouncing. Gone. Have some gin water. There you go. Have some gin water. Ban somebody. Lean Emmanuel ban. Nice.
Due to, well, I'll tell you, I want to make sure this is still open. Okay.
All right, there you go. Read the statement now, you little roach. Come on. Let's hear it. Come on. Gamer face. Look at that hairline. Jesus Christ. Just shave your head, man. Fucking hell. Look at that hairline. Look, what is he reading?
This in a second. But anyway, okay, I want to make sure it was still there, and it is indeed still there. Okay. So.
Brilliant dead air. Brilliant.
In the last
professional streamer. Brilliant.
Week,
yeah.
Crazy stuff has been happening in regards to Dr. Disrespect that I have refused to speak about. Why? Because there's been no evidence of anything. There's been a lot of accusations thrown around. There's been a lot of what ifs, and then there's been seemingly repercussions in regards to the what ifs. Let me explain what's going on. Supposedly a former Twitch employee, and I throw that around loosely because when I say former Twitch employee, Twitch has a million people who work for them who don't. There's people who are like community ambassador volunteers who fucking moderate and do shit, but don't actually work for the company. Don't ask me how they think that's professional, because it's not.
Hold on. If you're a community ambassador, but you're a volunteer, you do work for the company. What's he talking about? He hates Twitch so much, he's just inventing reasons to hate them. Okay, they have volunteers who moderate chats or who do community moderation. Maybe they're a little bit loosey-goosey and trigger happy with the ban button. But if you're a volunteer, you're still working for that company. Doesn't mean you don't work for them. So if you leave, you can say you were a former Twitch employee. That's part of the reason why you work for Twitch, so you can have the clout of working for them on your CV. Why is he acting like being a volunteer doesn't count as working? Because it's what? Because you're working for free. But then he calls his editors that do his thumbnails and that clip his clips and shit or whatever on his other channels. He calls them his, employees, but he doesn't pay them. Interesting.
That's what leads to insane mistakes like, oh, ban an account because they did something wrong. Oops, they didn't unban it later in the day. It's bullshit. Their company is awful, okay? But anyway, someone who supposedly formerly worked for them put out a tweet, and I'll summarize it here. Yeah, the banning of Dr. Disrespect was absolutely warranted. He was texting or DMing a minor, basically someone who was 17, having sexually inappropriate conversation with said minor, and even trying to lean towards and get them to go to his room and meet him in his room at TwitchCon. And when Twitch got note of that, because I guess it was done through Twitch.
Yo, how much cooming was happening at TwitchCon? That's probably an undercover thing, innit? Maybe all those niches like Comic Con, TwitchCon, VidCon, all these little niche subcultures and shit, they're probably the most freakish, innit? They're probably the most freakish. There's probably all sorts of crazy shit happening in those hotel rooms, in those suites, right? Like, god damn, come to my hotel room. Fucking hell, don't disrespect. Relax, brother.
Private messages, and it was reported to them. Okay. They said this is completely unacceptable, and that's why they decided to ban him, citing their terms of service would be never allow that. Well, apparently they did ban him, then he sued them years later, saying, well, none of this is evidence of any crime whatsoever, therefore you banned me outright for no reason, legally anyway, and you owe me money, and then they had a settlement. So apparently Twitch felt they would not have been able to win the court case. They didn't have enough evidence to prove maybe true intent, and therefore they did screw up, so they settled so they wouldn't lose the court battle. Okay? Now, that's all well and good, except this is just a former Twitch employee saying this on Twitter.
Look how happy he is.
Where's the
He's
evidence?
so happy.
Show us evidence of what you're saying.
He's so happy.
Nothing.
He's so happy when somebody else gets cancelled, but for things that he could probably get cancelled for himself. Don't get me wrong, he's not a diddler, but looking through people's messages is kind of wild. If you think about it, it's kind of wild. I understand it's diddling, I get it, but looking through somebody's messages and then essentially taking away their livelihood based on that is pretty wild. Unless they have a terms and conditions that says when you sign up for Twitch that they can look through your private DMs. That might be a thing. That might be a part of community moderation, maybe, to cultivate a safe space, maybe. But for someone like DSP who says dicey things himself, for someone like DSP who's known to have a secret Discord where he begs and pleads for his audience to send him money and whatever it may be, he has to be very careful about cheering on this cancellation. Be very, very careful about cheering on this cancellation.
Without evidence, you can't hold someone accountable. It's just an accusation, right? We actually don't know if this is actually what happened or not. Well, all of a sudden, yesterday, it's announced that Dr. Disrespect's game development company, which he co-founded, I think it's called Midnight Society, is dropping him. He's leaving the company. They're basically, and then they put out a public statement on Twitter. So we heard all these accusations. We researched it ourselves and looked into it, and we came to an agreement that Dr. Disrespect is leaving the company. Now, what does that sound like? That sounds like they're saying we found out he's guilty of this accusation of, having sexual conversations with a minor, and now we've decided that it's in our best interest to part ways with him. Now,
to be fair, that's the only thing Dr. Disrespect did that was almost honorable. he did step away from that company, because I feel like most likely he admitted it to the board, he admitted it to the owners or the people that he works with, and then they decided, hey, it's best you step down. But most people don't do that. Most people, when they get accused of whatever they get accused of, they take the whole entire company down with them. And everybody working there who's innocent, who's not, had nothing to do with your nonsense, who's supporting their family, putting their kids through school, they all suffer because of your fucking craziness. So the fact that he stepped away so quickly is a good thing, because now that company gets to do what they need to do separately from him, without people kind of blaming them and including them in a conversation. He cut ties or stepped away from them at the right time, obviously, and now it can kind of go on. So that's the only good thing he did in the entire thing. Everything else, obviously, the guy should be buried under jail. Big up Ricky Pitcher. What about Panda Lee? No, the Panda Lee thing, I don't buy. I don't buy the Panda Lee thing. She was definitely 18. I don't think she was 17, underage. Right? I think she was 18. Again, at the time, I think he was, 35 or something? Should a 35-year-old be dating an 18-year-old? Of course not. But this is DSP. I'm not surprised he did date her. She was definitely out of his league anyway. So I'm not surprised he didn't turn her down. So it kind of is what it is. But I don't think she was technically underage. I don't buy that whole narrative. I think that's a bit... You can accuse a guy of a lot of things, but I don't think it's a PDF, personally.
Immediately what ended up happening is everyone went at the company saying, well, number one, where's the evidence? If you have evidence, show it. And number two, if you're dropping him, just understand no one is ever going to buy or play your game ever again. Like, the only reason we were even involved in your video game is because Dr. Disrespect was the co-founder of the company and we wanted him to play. We were interested in it. We like him. So you might as well just say goodbye. Your game will never sell. Okay? So it's kind of like it was the kiss of death to keep him in the company. And now it's the kiss of death that he's out of the company. Right? Now, while all this is going on, guess what else is going on? His other sponsorship deals are falling apart. Apparently, overnight, Turtle Beach, which he has a bunch of branded headphones with, dropped him from their sponsorship. So the question is, what in the holy hell is going on? Why is all this happening to Dr. Disrespect if there's no evidence of wrongdoing? It doesn't make sense.
Big up Ricky Pitcher. I thought he was grooming her before they got together. Could be a stretch though. No, you could be right. You could be right. But I think the idea that it's a technicality. Let's say you're right and he was grooming her or talking to her before she turned 18. But when they were public, she was 18. When they were officially in a relationship, she was of age. So let's not throw the diddler thing at him in that respect. Maybe he was smart enough to wait until she turned 18, so technically she couldn't be underage. It's still dicey. It's still fucking weird for a 35 or early 30-year-old to be dating an 18-year-old. I know, but also it's DSP. Look at him. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't think he was pursuing her because she was a young. That's not there. To be honest as well, it's not like he was. It's not like he even treated her like her when they were together anyway. You see it now with Kat. He doesn't really want a wife or a partner or a girlfriend. He wants her like a mum. Kat's basically his mum. He sometimes fumbles whenever he talks about her and says my mum, my wife, right, all the time. He made Panda Lee be basically the same thing. And part of the reason why she left, I think, and broke up with him is because they had different goals. She clearly was young and wanted to see the world and had adventures and just hang out and shit. And DSP just went to sit at home and stream all day. He kind of probably got tired of doing things like a normal couple. So, it's not as if he kind of, it's not as if he kind of lauded the fact that she was underage. And I don't know. I don't know if you know what makes sense in my head. He didn't really treat her like she was an 18-year-old anyway. Do you know what I mean? He kind of made her seem like she was way older than her age than when she wasn't. If that makes sense. I don't know.
Sense, right? It would be one thing if there was blatant evidence on the internet of him doing this, but there's nothing. No one said anything. Apparently, again, remember, there was a whole court proceeding, but apparently there's NDAs out the ass, okay? So what is going on, right?
Come on, get to the point, bro. He takes so much, he just waffles, isn't it? Fuck.
Now we know. Because right before I started this podcast this morning, Dr. Disrespect tweeted himself. Are you ready?
Okay, we're going to hear him reading it. Let's skip a bit.
That's a problem. I've always been upfront and real with you guys on anything that I can be upfront about, and I'm always willing to accept responsibility, which is why I'm here now. He's always willing to accept responsibility. Okay. Sure. Let's continue. Here's the thing. I'm just going to say this before I read the rest of the tweet. For those who are shocked at the situation, Did you not see the writing on the wall when, one, he cheated on his wife many, many years ago, and then he publicly cried about it, so people gave him money and liked him more? Figure that one out. Two, he went to a convention and literally walked inside of a bag and liked him more. Figure that one out.
Can somebody explain to me what the through line is between cheating and PDF things? I've seen a couple people say this. Oh, not only DSP. DSP is obviously a read act. But what's with the whole he cheated on his wife, so I'm not surprised he's a PDF? Could somebody explain that? Is that a meme? Is that like a troll? I don't understand how adultery is like, you know, is like a gateway thing to PDF stuff. How does that work? Or is he talking about dishonesty? Is that what he's talking about? I don't get it. Like, huh? Adultery and PDF stuff. Quite as a sex addiction. But adultery has nothing to do with being a sex addict, surely. It's just an option, you know? I don't know. I don't know if I don't know the science about adultery and stuff or whatever. But from what I understand, being a man myself, isn't it more just a situation thing, not being able to control your impulses? Maybe options and stuff. It's less really to do about having an addiction for it, you know? Because I read, you know, there's people need to read actually Russell Brand's, I think it's his first one. I think it's his autobiography, My Bookie Wookie, when Russell Brand was really at his pomp, right? When he used to wear the eyeliner and shit. And he described sex addiction really well in that book. How debilitating it is, how exhausting it is. I think he mentioned one time how he smashed this like bin lady, like, or someone like that, like behind a building somewhere. Like they went from like, or somebody that came to hand leaflets, like that kind of situation. Like suddenly someone is knocked out your door to hand you a leaflet. She's basically like a dinner lady, and it goes from having some small chat in front of your door to fucking smashing her behind your building. That to me, like, is, you know, quintessential sex addiction, not just what these guys are, where they're like always trying to have sex with fucking cheerleaders. Do you know what I mean? That's just you being a creep in a PDF. But when Russell Brand described it, it sounded pretty miserable, you know? Like imagine, you know, not being able to turn that part of your brain off, so much so that you're smashing dinner ladies behind bins.
Two, he went to a convention and literally walked inside of a bathroom with a film crew and filmed people pissing without their permission. And then he got kicked out of the convention and almost got arrested for it. I mean, there's always been evidence that this guy does bad things, but people seem to like him more. And that's what I don't understand. The
funny thing about DSP he's describing himself. DSP keeps doing bad things, but doesn't get punished the way that you think he does. That's why he's a fascinating locale to watch, for me personally. Because anybody else who does the things that he does wouldn't be still streaming full time. They'd have to get a real job. They have to just figure something else out. Because he's such a reprehensible, unlikable person. It's astounding to realize that he makes on average 100 grand a year from live streaming. There was a time during Twitch where some company put out statistics that at the time when DSP was at Twitch, even though he didn't have a big following, he had like one of the highest ratios of like donations and tips via his kind of audience size. So even though people had bigger audiences and more subscribers, he had more subscribers who would tip him than other big subscribers who had loads. I mean, it's like, it doesn't make any sense, right? Because he's obviously a horrible person. So how are these, you know, these dent heads so enamored by him when he keeps displaying horrible parts of himself? It's not like he hides himself. DSP is not very clever in that respect. He's not very good at lying. He's not very good at being, you know, he's not very good at pretending to be somebody else apart from himself. So the fact that he's consistently himself and fans consistently keep giving him stuff and making sure that he's still here streaming is a, you know, a miracle in itself. So when he talks about Dr. Disrespect this way, I think to myself, are you talking about yourself?
Is someone who dresses up like a knockoff G.I. Joe character. He acts a character on camera like a Muppet. People like him for that, and that's okay if you like it, but you understand this is all he does. This is his content. You think he's some kind of a fucking hero, a pariah?
And by the way, DSP hates anybody that makes an effort. It's one of these kind of little things that he does. Because Dr. Disrespect dresses up the way he does, in DSP head, he thinks all streaming should just be casual. It should be too hard. It should be low effort. He wants streaming to be the same way it was when he started 14 years ago. he's kind of annoyed that people have to adapt and do things to kind of keep up with the times or to keep relevant and stuff, whatever it may be. That to him is like a no-no. He refuses to do certain things because he's set in his ways. So when he sees somebody having a shtick or having a little hacky thing they do to get their audience to kind of engage, he sees it as like a sellout, like they're a loser, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, you're in a privileged position. You've not had to change in 14 years, apart from whatever, the whole direct capture thing that you kept fucking talking about. He's been fortunate enough that his fans haven't really called for him to really change his content in any meaningful way, really and truly. But everybody else has to, you know, get with the times. And maybe Dr. Disrespect at the time that he came up, having that character and playing that role was beneficial for him. Clearly it was, because it made him a multi-millionaire. But in DSP's head, he thinks Dr. Disrespect's a loser. And it's like, bro, have you looked in the mirror?
What are you talking about?
Oops.
The guy has had a history of bad behavior, and he makes schlock content. And it's okay to like the schlock. I get it. It's a shtick. It's funny. But why would you think that this guy is some kind of a fucking hero to people all over the internet? Where did you ever get that information or ever get that 2 and 2 connection? I mean, I'm at a loss. And I understand a lot of people would say, well, the same thing about you. I never said I'm a hero. I never said I'm someone who should be worshipped or anyone should love. I'm just a
no one wants to worship Dr. Disrespect, by the way. I don't know why he's making up that thing.
regular dude sitting here on the internet playing video games and hanging out with you. That's it. I'm not some fucking multi-millionaire who brings in $50,000 a fucking stream to dress up like a fucking knockoff G.I. Joe. I just don't get it, but maybe that's me because I don't like that kind of shit. The guy's a fucking Muppet. He always has been. That's his shtick. So why do you think that he's like not going to be doing wrong things when there's a history of wrong behavior? That
again, playing dress up and being a character on stream is also opens the door to you being a PDF. How does that make sense? Cheating on your wife is also a venue as to what?
he's laid out over the last decade, I don't get it. Okay? So now let's continue to read his own tweet. First and foremost, I do want to apologize to everyone in my community, as well as those close to me, my team, and everyone at Midnight Society Game Studio. A lot of people have been left in the dark about what happened yesterday with Midnight Society, what happened yesterday with Midnight Society and we made the painful decision collectively to have me step down. Our team is full of incredibly talented and good people that have high career ambitions and families, and I'd never want to jeopardize the culture we have carefully crafted. Okay. Everyone has been wanting to know why I was banned from Twitch, but for reasons outside of my control, I was not allowed to say anything for the last several years. Now that 2 former Twitch employees have publicly disclosed the accusations, I can now tell you my side of the story regarding the ban. So essentially what he's saying is, because 2 Twitch employees broke the NDA themselves, essentially he can now say whatever he wants legally. Previously he couldn't because of the NDA.
Yeah, we get it. We get it.
Free to say whatever he wants.
Continue.
The NDA
we get it, man. Shut
them,
the fuck up. So pig
okay,
spraying to us NDAs.
Were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual back in 2017? The answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. I'm not even going to continue yet. I'm just going to tell you right now, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the actual intentions are. What actually matters is the initial action, right? If you make a death threat to someone, but you say, I never intended to kill them, you're still responsible for the death threat. If you make sexual messages to a minor, even if you never intended to do anything with the minor, you're still responsible for those messages. So the intent doesn't matter. It's the action you already performed. He's already 100% admitted to guilt for a wrongdoing action, and everyone on the internet is now going to accuse him of being a pedophile. I literally don't have to read the rest of the tweet. I don't. I mean, we're done here. Well, I'm going to read the rest of the tweet because he tweeted a ton of shit here. So I'm going to keep going. But I mean, yikes, that's it. He's done.
Look at his arms. Have you ever seen anybody with a bicep that skinny? His bicep is literally like his wrist. Look at that. That's all like atrophy, isn't it? That's him just like not eating, drinking a bunch, not moving his body, you know, having a fucking cart that he picks up. Like, look at that. Look at his actual bicep. Wow.
Like, you have 100% admitted that you fucked up and did one of the most heinous things possible. I mean, besides, you know, going the next step. which would obviously have been meeting with this person, right? Okay, let's continue. So here's how he now tries to sugarcoat what he did. You ready? These were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Yes, there is more. You're doing it with a minor, and therefore there's more to it. But you just don't understand that, I guess. But yes, you screwed up hugely. Nothing illegal happened. No pictures were shared. No crimes were committed. And I never even met the individual. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch.
Hold on, did his ear move there?
I never even met the individual.
Did his ear move?
Hugely. Nothing illegal happened. No
wow, look at that. His ear move when he talks. Like he's got a mask on or something.
That, I guess, but
look.
Yes, you screwed up hugely. Nothing illegal happened. No pictures were shared. No crimes were committed. And I never even met the individual.
Wow.
I went through a lengthy arbitration
You
regarding
see that?
a civil dispute with
One more
Twitch.
time.
And that case was resolved by a settlement. Let me be clear. It was not a criminal case against me. And no criminal...
Holy shit. You see that?
And I never even met the individual. I went through a... No pictures were...
How does that happen? How do you
just
move
don't
your ears like
understand that, I guess, but yes, you screwed up hugely. Nothing illegal happened. No pictures were shared. No crimes were committed. And I never even met the individual. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a...
Anyways, you get the gist. I can't be bothered. DSP makes me want to go sleep. He's fucking boring as fuck. But DSP putting the boot in and letting everybody know that he's a much better person than Dr. Disrespect. Cool, man. Cool. Cool. Moving on. You want to talk about something else? Let's talk about something else. Brendan Schaub is afraid of black people. Do you know that? Brendan Schaub wants us to know that he's afraid of black people. Let me show you the clip.
Hard to find bad barbecue in the South.
Really?
I was in South Central doing car shit, and I saw it. I was in South Central. I was off Crenshaw, and there's a barbecue place. And I could see the smoke coming from the chimney, and I was in traffic, and I was smelling. I'm like, God damn, I bet that's good.
Yeah.
Oh no, I wanted to go in, but I was scared. Straight up.
Do you have all your stuff on too?
Yeah, all my chains.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I'm just gonna tuck mines in.
Go live and then go in.
I'm just gonna tuck mines in.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that Eric Griffin says something very astute here. Eric Griffin says something very astute. He makes a very good observation. Listen to Eric Griffin's reply.
I'm in a loud ass car. I'm like, I'm just asking to get robbed.
Yeah.
You know, 1 week you can't say you could beat up both of us, and then the next week you're afraid to go into a barbecue place and
I can't
don't have
fight
guns.
guns.
Isn't he right? He's always flexing about who you can beat up. He said the other day that he can beat up fucking Joe Rogan, and now all of a sudden he's scared of some black people. It's almost like he's full of shit, isn't it? It's almost like Papa is full of shit. Who would have known? Who would have known that Papa is actually full of shit? Not me. Not me. Not me. Continuing on with some more clips I need to show you guys. Brendan Schaub is a Muslim. Do you know that? Do you know Brendan is Muslim? Are you aware that Brendan Schaub is Muslim? I'm sure some of you guys don't know this. I'm sure this is going to be a shock to most of you. But Brendan has finally converted to a religion. And he is Muslim. Let me show you Brendan Schaub, the Muslim.
Did you hear Allah Akbar?
No.
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 Did you hear Allah Akbar?
Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Why is he Allah Akbar? Huh? ¿Cómo? ¿Qué? Allah Akbar. He's so fucking redacted, man. Brendan is the American dream. Brendan is the American dream. I keep telling you this. He's an actual, bona fide, fully fledged, unapologetic redact. Yet he's made it in life. Somehow. He's 100% redacted. Yet he's been able to amass millions over his career. Mansions, docile slow Joe wives, kids, trainers, trucks, cars, luxury cars, watches, more watches, jerseys, more jerseys, hats. And this guy says,
No.
Did you hear Allah Akbar?
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 and now I understand. Before I used to get a little bit annoyed with people around him. Why don't you call him up on what he says? Why don't you point out all the dumb things he says? How they let him get away with what he says? But think about it if you're actually Brendan's quote-unquote friend or a colleague or a co-host. At some point, it gets a bit tiring because he's constantly saying things wrong. And he's redacted. And he's thin-skinned. And he's stubborn. And he's argumentative. So you point out he says something wrong and you start arguing back to you. So it gets a bit exhausting. You're like, you know what? You're good, bruv. Don't worry, you're good. My bad. You didn't say it wrong. It's definitely Allah Akbar. No problem. So I understand now why no one pulls him up. Because it must be exhausting. I don't have friends like that, but I think if you have friends who are always like nitpicky and stuff, it can just be annoying to bring, you know, I don't know, not everybody enjoys having a sit down with their friend and telling them about themselves. Hey, can you stop interrupting? Can you maybe stop mispronouncing words? And can you stop fucking up very commonly fucking heard sayings and whatever it may be? Could you maybe take some time when you speak and not rush through your words so you're not sounding marble mouth? Sometimes people don't want to do that because it's just exhausting with your friends. So I understand why his co-hosts are like, you know what? I'm good. I'm just going to pretend like I didn't hear it. Or I'm going to try and figure out what he said, what he meant to say in my head, and then just keep it moving because it's exhausting. I get it. Because if not, if you do try and, you know, educate him, if you do try and pull him up, he's just going to say something dumb to you anyway. That's going to make you way more angry. So you might as well just let him say.
No.
Did you hear Allah Akbar?
You might as well let him say it. Why not? It's only.
Did you hear Allah Akbar?
You know? What's wrong with saying that?
Did you hear Allah Akbar?
He said it with so much confidence too. That's the thing I like about him. It's the confidence he says stuff with. So big up Brendan. Big up Blood Clot Brendan for being confident and for also being a redact. Big up him for being a confident redact. We love to see it. We love to see it. Why is it telling me encoding error? Is it kind of lagging a bit? I think it is, isn't it, right? Bear with me a second here. CPU is a bit up. Let me get the thing done. Bear with me a second as I do this, my friends. If you enjoy the stream, you like what you see, make sure you smash the like button down below. Make sure you smash the like button down below. That will be greatly appreciated. Cool. Let's continue on. Let's continue on. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's continue on. Bada bing, bada boom. So we did that. We did this. Let's do another clip here that I think you guys will get a kick out of. Eric Griffin talking about his wife and family. Eric Griffin talking about his wife and family. Now, I think he personally loves them. So I think this is maybe his way of showing affection. But I also think, this is just my theory. This is a very strange and weird theory. I think Eric Griffin does this whole like frustrated, exhausted dad husband routine because he thinks that's what regular guys sound like when they talk about their partners. You know, I don't know why, but I imagine he doesn't really have that much experience with women. I only say that because of what he looks like. He could have more experience than what I know of, but based on what he looks like, based on how his body's shaped, based on how he sits down, based on how he moans and cries and complains, I'd imagine there's probably not a lot of women out there that would put up with him, you know, long term. But I could be wrong. Maybe he's a player and maybe he, you know, he fugs a lot of chicks. I don't know. But if he doesn't, it would make sense why he speaks about his wife and his family this way, because it's almost like him acting like a dude, you know? Oh man, the wife, you know how it is. The old ball and chain, right? He likes saying those type of things to kind of sound like a man. If that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but let me play the clip for you because I thought this was very, very fascinating how he described his wife and his family. Big up Abe Martinez.
I saw TMZ video with Bappa wife and famous baseball player. Comments turned off. Bodyguards blocking cameras. Yasi Alpuig is his name.
Yeah, I saw it too. It's legendary video. Legendary fucking video. She loved that guy. Puig. She loved Puig. She fucking loved Puig back in the day. But big up her too, by the way. We have to give Brendan's wife credit. Not the most accomplished person in the world. Clearly a little bit dim, but she's kind of cashed out. She's lucked out. She's with a guy who makes decent amount of money. And from what I've learned on the subreddit, Brendan's dad is really wealthy too. Allegedly, he makes like $5 million a year off of just like patterns and whatever else that he did back in the day. Because I think he invented some sort of like software that I think like a cybersecurity thing or something. So he's got like, Brendan's dad's got like money. And allegedly that software is being used in governments or something like that. So he makes crazy amounts of money. Even though he's retired, he's always making crazy amounts of money. So people are saying that maybe he's the reason why T-Fat K and Thick Boy is still operational, even though the numbers are down across the board, even though they don't have as many good sponsors, blah, blah, blah. Brendan quit stand-up, yet his spending habits and lifestyle haven't really changed. So maybe that might be the reason for it. So you have to give Brendan Schaub's wife credit. She was with Puig for a bit, maybe dated other UFC fighters, but imagine the one that she picked was maybe one of the worst fighters in the UFC, especially in heavyweight, but he ended up being one of the richest post-UFC. Because of the podcast, because of his friendship with Rogan. So she maybe lucked out, or she's got a good eye, Maybe she's got a good eye. She's like, you know what? This guy's got potential. He's chinny. He's a bit shit at fighting. He can barely talk, but I see something in him. And essentially, what she saw in him was Hermes bags, G-Wagons, designer kids, nice house. You can't slate her, man. She figured it out. Fair play. Let's continue.
By the way, the best Father's Day gift any family can give a father
Leave me
is to
alone.
pretend like I don't have a family. That's
like when he says stuff like that, he's just like looking for approval from the other fellas, right, fellas? Right? We all hate our wives, right? We don't want to really be with them, right? They all are nagging, hindrances to our eternal glory, right?
the Father's Day.
No.
I just want to
Yeah.
But you know how the
Yeah. No, it's. What do you want to do for Father's Day? Nothing. Really? Oh.
But I planned a day.
Yeah.
The impression he does of his wife and the eyes that he puts towards her, part of me thinks he generally doesn't like his partner. He generally doesn't like the mother of his kids. He generally doesn't like his wife. As much as I say, I think he plays up to it and he tries to act like a dude, like a man that has these common man fucking annoyances. Part of me also thinks he actually doesn't like this woman. Which is wild because, some would say you're fortunate to even breed looking the way you look. The fact that she'd let this guy lie on top of him is fucking insane. But I don't know, he doesn't really like her. I get the feeling. He's always, whenever he does impression of her, it's always her naggy. He always kind of rolls his eyes when she talks about her. But again, this is also Eric Griffin. He's incredibly negative, incredibly dour, incredibly jaded and cynical, and just a bit of a, he's not the best hang you'd imagine, right? He's always bringing the mood down. So maybe this is just his natural deposition. But whenever he talks about her, I notice he's very he's always mocking in terms of how she sounds, rolling his eyes, and just generally frustrated that she's alive.
We're gonna go get your nails done, and then we're gonna go.
I said, if it's really what I want to do on Father's Day, she said, "What do you want to do?" She said a few days, beforehand, and then I said, "If you really want to give me what I want to do, I don't want to make a plan. I don't want to make a plan. I want to wake up and do whatever I want."
Yeah,
and
but they don't vibe on that.
She
right?
said, "Okay," and,
Oh, wow.
and that's what happened.
My wife asked me. I said, "Don't ask me to pick up anything today. That's what I want. Just don't ask me to pick
no
shit
chores
up. Yeah,
today.
nothing. Don't ask me to do this. Just
My thing was no diapers today.
So yeah, Eric Griffin doesn't seem to enjoy the company of his wife or his children too much. Very funny. Very, very, very funny. Moving on from that one, let's go to the next clip here for you lovely people. Brendan Schaub's son can't spell, but Bappa also can't pronounce properly. Let's see Brendan struggling to pronounce easy peasy words. Bear with me a second as I get it up on here for you guys to see. Another fascinating clip, courtesy of the Golden Hour. Let's get it going.
And then Tiger wrote me a card. The spelling was so atrocious, it drove me nuts. And then Tiger wrote me a card. The spelling was so atrocious, it drove me nuts.
Atrocious. Have you ever heard of the word atrocious? Atrocious. He atrocious. Ha atrocious. Have you ever heard of that? I've never in my life heard anybody pronounce atrocious, atrocious. Where's the extra H come from? Is it the H that he used to call like giraffe or giraffe? No, didn't he say he thought giraffe was pronounced with a D? Imagine saying atrocious. He's not saying it like as a joke. He's actually pronouncing atrocious with the H. One more time.
And then Tiger wrote me a card. The spelling was so atrocious, it drove me nuts. And then Tiger wrote me a card. The spelling was so atrocious, it drove me nuts.
So atrocious. Exactly, that gal was atrocious. Exactly. That heifer, that heifer, all right? That harlot was atrocious. She had hot breath. Oh, but yeah, I don't know. This guy's a fucking redact. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. Big up the atrocious gang. Big up the atrocious gang. Another one for you guys to see. Another one for you guys to see. Another one for you guys to see. Let's get this one on here. Eric Griffin answers a very important question. This is courtesy of Riffing with Griffin. I've been watching a few of these pods more, going on the Amy advice, which I hold dear to my heart. Big up Amy wherever she is. You can't diss unless you consume. Unless you consume, you can't diss. So I've been watching some of these things full in my free time. And the other day I watched Riffing with Griffin, the whole thing. Oof. It was a fucking ordeal. But I happened to pull some clips from it that I think you guys might get a kick out of. This one in particular being a very interesting one, right? It's Eric Griffin answering a very important question from his chat. One thing I noticed too from his stream chat, I don't know if you watch Riffing with Griffin, you guys, but his stream chat tells him to stop moaning. His stream chat tells him all the things that I say about him being negative, about him being dour, about him just being just a bit of a bummer to watch and shit. They tell him to ignore the trolls, just to continue with the content. His actual fans tell him, please, enough with the fucking going on and on about his Mr. Potato Head joke. And he doesn't care. He actually enjoys it. He just ignores them. There'll be tons of people offering him condolences about his mama passing, all this stuff. Then one person will say something a little bit sneaky, a little bit of a jab, and you just focus in on it and just keep moaning and acting like he doesn't care, but talking to that person again and again and again. He's a very weird individual, but the stream chat does tell him to stop moaning. He just does not care. He just barrels through and keeps on moaning, keeps on complaining, keeps talking about the haters and trolls. It's like, bro, you don't get it. You're never going to win. You're never going to win. Just ignore it. But he doesn't. Anyway, this is a clip courtesy of Riffing with Griffin. Let's play it so you guys can see what you think.
Of course, somebody said Charlie Boy 2680. Hey Griffin, has anyone told you look like Mr. Potato Head?
Again, this is after he mentioned something about his mum. And if you look at his stream chat, you'll see loads of people offering him condolences. One random person, his username is Charlie2467, says, and he still bites. How can you bite at clear bait? How can you bite when the bait is that clear? Come on, man.
Of course, somebody said Charlie Boy 2680. Hey Griffin, has anyone told you?
Hey Griffin.
Of course, somebody said Charlie Boy 2680. Hey Griffin, has anyone told you look like a potato head? Yeah, he wanted that.
I love the fake laugh, by the way. I love the fake laugh. I love the cope laugh. The fake cope laugh is fucking hilarious.
You know, it sucks because when you look at this Mr. Potato Head, you kind of go, God damn it. When I used to just have a mustache and it was thick, oh man, and the nose, So yeah, people have told me that. Let's see. I don't know. There was one comment I saw. Let's see. Like, again, people keep talking. I don't know if they're just trolling or whatever, but the story I told on Legion of Skanks about the Lyft driver, the thing that people need to really understand about it was the girl wasn't joking.
You see how much of a redact he is? He still misses the point. He still misses completely the point of why people were getting at him for that Lyft driver debacle. He's still hung up on the fact that, in his opinion, the driver wasn't joking. She was trying to be insulting. She was trying to be mean. We're saying it doesn't fucking matter. You're meant to be a comedian. Have thicker skin. Stop crying like a baby. And also, he went a step further by admitting that he was trying to get that driver fired because they said a mean thing to him in the car. It's almost akin to how comedians are against cancel culture, but then he gets into a flipping lift and tries to cancel a driver because they made an offhanded comment about him that he took personally. A joke that he says he's known about forever. That doesn't affect him. Bobby Lee said it first. He's got the Mr. Potato Head mug on his fucking table. He used to lean into it at one point with his beard and his fucking stupid face and his glasses. He still misses the point completely. He's an impressive person. Loves being a victim. Loves crying foul. Then when he's kind of called out on it, no, you guys just don't get it. You guys are the dumb ones. Okay, I guess we're dumb.
It wasn't like she was making a joke like, ha ha ha. No, it was super weird. I was super uncomfortable and weird how she was acting with me. That's what it was about.
Yuck. He's such a bitch, isn't it? She was being super weird. Like, I haven't watched this kid back in a while, but I forgot how fucking his mannerisms are very San Francisco School of Performing Arts, isn't it? Like, what the fuck is all that about? I was super uncomfortable. Aren't you super uncomfortable sitting next to Crystalia after all these allegations? You're not super uncomfortable sitting next to Brendan, considering what happened to him and Bobby Lee and how that happened. You're not uncomfortable with that. But you're uncomfortable with this woman made a passing remark about you looking at Mr. Potato Head. Come on, Eric Griffin. Get a grip.
But I don't know. People have turned it into like something that it's not. Oh, you can't take a joke. Yeah, okay.
But it's true. You can't take a joke. You try to get the person fucking cancelled. Try to get them fired. And I like how he can ascertain what is a joke and what isn't a joke. And if it isn't a joke, then it's basically violence. And that person needs to be fired. Jesus Christ. I wish he'd have the same, I wish he'd have the same fucking moral compass, the same principles when it comes to his friends who get accused of some pretty heinous crimes. But I guess because they're not in prison, it doesn't matter, right? Oh, it doesn't count. They're not in jail. No criminal charges, so it doesn't exist. It's like, okay, cool, man. But let's cancel a fucking regular fucking working class Lyft driver because they said something to you that was a little bit offensive. Alrighty. Then continuing on, last clip here, we've got Eric Griffin maybe projecting a little bit. Maybe this is a little bit of projection from Eric Griffin. Maybe this is a little bit of projection from Eric Griffin. Listen to how he speaks about this person. This feels like progression to me. This feels like projection to me. But I could be mistaken. But it does feel like projection. Let me get up on here so you guys can see what I mean.
This couple, like, why are they together? This dude got no neck. He's 59 years old. No, 59 years old. And he breaks up with her. He breaks up with her because this dude is destined to be alone. He is such an asshole, okay? Such an asshole. And I don't know why they even were together. And now we're watching them try to break up. Ridiculous. But no neck Ed is like turned into be like, and look at this girl. This girl looks good. Like I'm not even going to go in.
Couldn't that also be something that you could say about him and his wife. Big up Assad.
You know how fat comics are scared to lose weight in fear of not being funny? It's the same for Eric and his mustache. He shaved it and hasn't been funny since. It was funny just at looking at him.
Yep, exactly. And maybe a part of him also, this is a weird thing to say, but maybe a part of him hated the fact that he had to rely on the mustache to be funny. Maybe he hated the fact that he was reduced to looking like that. Because he kind of, do you remember, he kind of liked that workaholics look. He basically walked around looking like that. He was basically his own impersonator. He kind of kept that look. And usually when people do films, I don't know if you guys know this, but usually actors, when they do roles and shit, and they have a particular hairstyle or whatever, they usually don't want to wear that same hairstyle when they're out and about in public. They usually want to do whatever else differently. But he sort of was one of the weird people who kind of lent into that look. He kept the mustache, he kept the glasses, the same type of haircut. He wanted people to recognize him from that show. He wanted it to be like a thing. But I guess over time, maybe he got frustrated with it. Maybe he got a little bit pissed off with it. People didn't really listen to the jokes and stuff. And that's the thing that's almost the funniest and cruelest thing about Eric Griffin. Allegedly, he's actually a really good stand-up comedian. According to his IMDb, he's clearly good at his job when it comes to producing and directing things. But he's such a miserable cunt. It's hard to root for him. So he's actually talented. He actually has ability. He actually has, you know, a thing to, you know, people like what he does on stage. But his personality is so hard to get along with that you almost don't want to root for him when you really should be rooting for him. Because he's not really a Rogan comic. He's kind of doing it on his own in a way. But here he is, you know, hating super aggressively on No Neck Ed with extra amounts of hate, projecting super hard when everything he says about No Neck Ed could be applied to him and his wife.
This couple, like, why are they together? This dude got no neck. He's 59 years old, 59 years old, and he breaks up with her. He breaks up with her because this dude is destined to be alone. He is such an asshole, okay? Such an asshole, and I don't know why they even were together. And now we're watching them try to break up. Ridiculous. But No Neck Ed is like turned into be like, and look at this girl. This girl looks good. Like I'm not even gonna go into it.
Big up Wolfcat with a gun. Talking about Montez B, yeah. Montez is a fucking muppet. Montez is a fucking muppet. But hey, what can we do? Sometimes you gotta muppet. Sometimes you gotta muppet. Moving on. Do you want to see an interesting clip here? Do you want to see the interesting clip? This is a throwback. This is a throwback clip. Throwback clip of Brendan talking about his tattoo artist. You guys remember Brendan's tattoo artist was, you know, charged with vehicular manslaughter, I think, at the time, because they were in a car with their friend who was also a YouTuber, and they happened to crash into a tree, and unfortunately the friend passed away. They were both drunk and high and shit, but the tattoo artist, obviously very famous and stuff, was obviously lampooned for getting behind the wheel drunk, not getting an Uber, and obviously killing his friend. And most people would say, hey, you deserve to spend some time in fucking prison for killing your friend. Yes, we understand you were both high and shit, but you were the one driving the car, and you both got behind the wheel. So you're the one driving the car, and you could have easily called an Uber, which you didn't. You fucking deserve some time because somebody lost their fucking life. Well, Brendan, this is a throwback clip, doesn't agree that kid should have went to prison. And mostly he doesn't agree because he wanted a tattoo. Not because of some moral standpoint or because he's got a different opinion on vehicular fucking manslaughter. I think the main reason why he says what he says in this clip is because he was annoyed that his tattoo artist was involved in this horrible tragedy at the same time that he was trying to get a tattoo. That's the main reason why he seems to be upset about it. Watch the clip.
On my thigh, right? Today at 3 p.m. And then, oh, you're not, though, because your tattoo artist is going to be indicted for murder. So, and I text him when we got done with the show, hey, man,
wait,
I'm assuming we're not on for 3 p.m.
What?
That's my tattoo artist, the dime piece on the left.
We were just talking about him a couple weeks ago.
And even though it sounds like a joke, I could imagine Brendan texting a tattoo artist who's just been indicted for murder, asking, "Hey, are we still good for half free?" I could imagine him doing that with all sincerity. Hey, can we still hang out at free? Is that possible?
What? Yeah, I got a tattoo. If you go to his Instagram, I'm the last fucking guy you got a tattoo with. No. Go to his Instagram.
Yeah.
But it should be manslaughter because I was talking to Jay too. Between Jay goes, if he just gets a good lawyer, it's gonna be manslaughter. Probably still do some time. There I am. There I am.
There you are.
There I am.
Clout chaser.
Now he has a McLaren 570. Should have got the 720S, but regardless, he was drinking with a fellow YouTuber, and they ran into a tree. Fuck. I know.
Thank God nobody else died, because that also happens quite often. A person drives a car under the influence, crashes it into some innocent pedestrian, and they end up fucking passing. Or they crash into a car and they pass. It's fucking horrible. So thank God nobody else outside of that vehicle passed away. But that kid still died. The friend still fucking died. A family has lost a son, a brother. Like, I don't know why he's so like. I don't know why he's like this. That's what I'm saying.
No, he broke his hip.
He was drinking, so he was very drunk when he got in the car.
We don't know.
You just can't do that.
Yeah, but you can't. You shouldn't go to. Should you go to prison?
Yes, Brendan. Somebody died. It doesn't matter how it happened. If you punch them in the face and they accidentally fall and bang their head on the side of the curb, yes, you deserve to go to prison. I know it was a fight. I know you're both swinging out. I know you're both throwing hands. But unfortunately, you clipped them in the chin. They staggered, hit their head on a concrete fucking curb, and then passed away. You also should go to fucking jail. I'm sorry. That's the way things go. You just can't murder people accidentally and say, "Judge, I didn't mean it. We were both drunk. I shouldn't be in prison." What?
It's manslaughter, or it can be murder. You can go to jail for murder. Yes.
But if we're, let's say,
and also, as somebody else mentioned here, Cloud K20, fast life be, car life be. Exactly. Why can't we also put the onus on the fucking drivers? Why are all these kids buying in cars that they clearly can't handle? Why not just like buy a car that you can drive? Why are you buying all these incredible supercars, these fucking luxury sports cars, these really beefy, powerful machines that clearly you don't have a handle on, and you're putting yourself and other people at jeopardy because you can't fucking drive these cars properly? Maybe that should also be a thing.
And I don't know how it works, but it doesn't seem right to me. Say you and I both get drunk on firing the kid. Yeah. I go, "Brian," and you go, "Hey, dude, let's go to the gym." You drive to the gym, and I drive, and I wreck, and you die. Just your heart, like when I'm going real fast, I crash, and you die because you're old. And then I survive, and I'm flourishing. Do I go to prison?
Hold on, I don't like the way you're setting this up.
Do I go to prison for murder?
I feel like you're insulting me.
Yes, you go to prison for murder.
Do I go to prison for murder, even though we both agreed that we're both...
What a weird thing to say. Because we both agreed to get into the car, but you're the one driving. So then what does he think should happen? Does he think they should both get convicted of murder? Even though the person... Anyway.
So we're both intoxicated.
You're both
You
drunk.
go, "Hey, Brennan, can you drop me off in WeHo? I got some work to do."
Yeah.
I go, "Sure, dude."
Yeah.
And so we drive to WeHo, and you're like all excited, and you like you got this raging boner.
Why would I have a boner?
I know you're doing work.
I got
in WeHo.
liquor dick.
I know you're WeHo.
Okay, so I'm jacking it.
You well, kind of. It's
And
just you're like,
I'm like,
"I
tell me how
can't-"
much money you made in merch again?
You're like, "I can't wait to get in there." I'm like, "All right, dude, I'm just gonna drop you off. Please don't ejaculate in my car."
Okay.
So we're driving, but we're both drunk. We both agreed to jump in the vehicle.
Yeah.
I crash on our way to
You go to
WeHo,
jail for murder.
even though we're both under consent.
Yeah, and it's not manslaughter. There are people doing life right now for getting into a car, being drunk, and killing somebody in another car or somebody.
No, different. We didn't hit a bystander. We both agreed to get in this vehicle intoxicated.
So
I don't know why he's so like hung up on this idea that you both agreed to get into the car. Number one, somebody should maybe say, "Hey, let's not get in the car." You all agree to get into it. But now that you're into it, because you're the one behind the wheel, guess what? You're going to be the one who's going to be guilty. It's like somebody putting something under the car seat or under the driver's seat. Because you're sitting on top of it, people are going to think you're the one that placed it there, even though you might not have put it there. Because guess what? You're sitting in that fucking seat. it's not fair. Maybe that could be argued. But to say that the person doesn't deserve to spend some time in prison or in jail is insane. Somebody died, bro. Somebody lost their life. Yes, I understand 2 people were involved in this thing and 2 consenting adults got into a fast car while intoxicated and high and drove back home. Cool. But somebody died.
You can
Now, if he kidnapped him, I understand that.
Nope.
If he was like, "You're getting the car at gunpoint, I crashed, you died, murder."
You can absolutely be indicted for murder and convicted. It's just like this: if you do a crime with someone,
The crime
and
that comes on
the
your
person
shirt, yeah.
gets you the car, the guy steals the car, and then even if he's not in the car and you go off and kill somebody,
That gets him in trouble.
you can be indicted for murder too. So you're all part of a murder conspiracy. You're all part of the murder, right? So there have been people that, get convicted for.
How many years is he going to do for
murder.
manslaughter?
If I'm not mistaken, didn't he end up doing a year? I'm sure. I didn't research it properly. But if I'm not mistaken, he only ended up doing about a year. If I'm not mistaken, he ended up doing about a year.
And yeah, man, 6 to 11 years.
Hold on. Probation with up to 1 year, or 3, or 6, or 11. So if you can get manslaughter, and dude, he got a pretty face.
He could do 15 years.
pretty face,
he could do
pretty
15
mouth.
years for this.
He ain't doing 15 years. Guaranteed he doesn't do 15.
I don't
They're
know,
both
man.
intoxicated. I bet you he gets a year.
With a really good lawyer, I guess. It depends on what he said to the cops. It depends on how
Well,
drunk he was.
he's in the hospital with a broken hip.
And they did a blood alcohol test on him.
The tragic of all this, the 25-year-old that died on his birthday.
That's a huge.
Oh, thankfully, 3 minutes in, and he now extended his fucking condolences to the victim who died. 3 minutes into the clip, he finally said, "Oh, by the way, the person that died, obviously, that's really tragic." Jesus Christ, bro.
Tragedy.
It's horrible.
25-year-old kid.
Now,
And you know what they're doing? They're drinking like a couple of idiots. They did a very dumb thing, and sometimes it turns out that's why
a disaster.
never, ever drink and drive. Just
Look at Brendan's face while Brian Callen's saying this, by the way. Look at Brendan's face while Brian Callen's saying you shouldn't drink and drive. He doesn't nod, he doesn't agree because he does it all the time. He does it all the fucking time. Look his face. Look his face.
Now,
And you know what they're doing? They're drinking like a couple of idiots. They did a very dumb thing, and sometimes it turns out that's why
a disaster.
never, ever drink and drive. Just you can't do it. And everybody has done it. Everybody has driven buzzed once in their life or
Look at
10
face.
times in their life
Or 40 to 50.
or 40.
50.
And every time you do that, you're taking someone else's life.
Now,
in
have
your
I
own
seen
hands.
now Daniel? The prison system, especially now, a little harsh. You're not a fighter. You're a pretty boy. You seen the movie Get Hard?
It's an issue.
I can be your Kevin Hart.
It's an.
I can be your Kevin Hart. I can show you the way.
He could use you in there.
He could.
He could use you in there. The question is, he's half Brazilian.
Yes.
So the question
But
is
he
he
looks white.
considered white or is he considered?
Oh, you go full Aryan
Latino.
Nation. No, you go full Aryan Nation.
Yeah, but will they let you in?
Yeah, lie.
Anyway, fascinating clip, innit? Fascinating clip with Brendan defending somebody who got involved in such a heat. Usually most people would want to steer away from somebody that was involved in something like this. Even if you don't think they're guilty, even if you think they shouldn't be spending any time in prison, blah, 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 blah. You're kind of a bit, you got a lot on your plate. I'm going to stay away, deal with what you have to deal with. And when everything kind of settles down, I'll hit you back up. But Brendan's so singular, so, one-track minded that he is able to sit here with a straight face and almost dismiss the fact that that person was involved in such a crazy, tragic incident like that resulted in somebody losing their life because he just wants his tattoo. Eventually, he got the tattoo too, if I'm not mistaken. Eventually, he did get the tattoo from the guy too, if I'm not mistaken. But if my lore is correct, he did eventually end up getting that tattoo from that tattoo artist, Daniel Silva, who unfortunately ended up killing his friend by driving drunk. So, classic Brendan. He's always been endorsing shitty people, gladly standing beside them, gladly standing beside shitty people. Oh, by the way, I think I might have discovered the origins of nuts. Do you remember that clip I played of Brendan saying nuts on episode number 1000? You remember, right? I think I might have found the origins. The first time ever Brendan said nuts on a podcast, and it sounds exactly the same. Look at this throwback, eh? Look at this throwback. Look at this throwback. I think I might have discovered a fucking fossil. Look at this. Look at Brendan saying nuts. The origins of nuts on Fox T-Fat K. Absolutely incredible.
I'm going nuts. I'm going nuts. I'm going nuts. I'm going nuts.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Back in the Fox days. Do you remember that? Do you guys remember that? The Fox era. Do you guys remember the fucking Fox era? Huh? Do you guys remember the Fox era? Do you guys remember it? Look at this. Look at this setting. Look at it.
I'm going nuts. I'm going nuts. I'm going nuts. I'm going nuts.
I love it.
Nuts. I'm going.
Oh, big up the nuts gang. Big up the nuts gang. We're going to have to get a compilation together of every time Brendan said nuts. But yeah, look at that era, man. Back in the day, they were on Fox, you know. They were plugged in with Fox. They had direct relationship with the UFC. Brendan was fighting in the UFC. He's one of the first fighters to have a podcast, right? A prominent one. Relationship with Rogan. And they always managed to find a way to fuck it up. They could have stayed on Fox. They could have been part, like, maybe they're going alone or being independent kind of worked out for them anyway, long term. But they had everything. They were given everything on a silver platter. Early in the podcast game, big amount of fans, big viewer base, hundreds of thousands of views. Ooh. Ooh. What a time to be alive, man. Hairline intact, looking good. Callan actually looks like kind of handsome here. His hair doesn't look too bad, right? Back in the day with Evan and the Beard, still drinks on the table, by the way. There's one thing that podcasters do, they don't stop doing. Fucking unnecessary cups on the table, phones on the table, keys on the table. Can't just put it in your hand, in your pocket and shit. Always have to keep it up. That's one thing, Brendan, remember, if you remember your T-Fat K law, Brian used to always keep his phone on. Do you remember that? That used to drive Brendan crazy because he was always looking for a way out of the podcast. He was always looking and waiting for that one phone call from an audition to say, hey, you got the role on whatever, Desperate Housewives. He'd always keep his phone on and Brendan would be so furious. Like, why is your fucking phone not on silent? He'd always have it facing up so he could see this. I mean, always used to have anything. So, fucking hilarious times, man. Back in the day. T-Fat K law. Good old T-Fat K law. Good old T-Fat K law. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Disney Channel black man. Yeah, look at Brendan's hairline. Look at that. Somebody said he got something done. I believe him because look at what his hairline used to look like. He definitely got some sort of corrective work done. I don't know what exactly, but look at how it used to look. It was way more rounded, isn't it? Look at that. It looks like a helmet. It looks like the thing that used to go to a swimming cap. Is it swimming cap when you go to swim with the little rubber thing? Look at it. It kind of looks sprayed on as well. That is fucking crazy. That's a crazy haircut, isn't it? Look at that. That is a wild thing to want. But that's him also fighting in the UFC. He didn't like to grow his hair long. He liked it short and stuff, so he cut it this way. But yeah, he looks wild, but that's a crazy fucking trim. He looks very much like Aaron Hernandez here, though, especially with that haircut. He looks very much like Aaron Hernandez. So the comparisons were very correct. Very, very, very correct. So big up Papa. Big up the blood clot Papa. Cool. Let's move that. Let's do another clip here because we're on the whole Clippy McGee Clippingtons today. We're just fucking diving in on the fucking clips today. Let's do another one here before we move on. Bear with me a second. Let's do another one. Let's do what do we got here to read? We got that, we got this, we got that. Let's do this one. Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember what Brian Callen said about Judge Kavanaugh? Do you remember that judge that was, accused of some dicey things that he did back in the day in college and shit? Brian had some very dicey opinions about that whole thing that didn't age well, especially considering his allegations against him. Let's watch this clip. This is another throwback. This is a fucking fascinating one. Brian almost defending Judge Kavanaugh's right to make mistakes. And by mistakes, we mean grape, which is fucking aggressive, but we're going to show you Wagwan because this is a fascinating clip, in my personal opinion. Very fascinating. And again, another throwback. Look at what they used to look like, man. Look at the times. Look at the times. Look at how good shit was back in the day, huh? Look at how they used to look. Look at them. Look at them. Back in the day times.
This guy, right? Like me and my brother were talking about this. Like with Brett Kavanaugh, let's say if people are like, dude, he was 18. Let's say he did rape that girl. Yeah. He was 18, 17.
He didn't rape. It was a little bit of a different, but
yeah, but there.
First of all, it's interesting how precise and how exact Brian is with certain things. He's super clued up on this Judge Kavanaugh thing. He knows exactly what age he was. Not 18, he was 17. And it wasn't rape. It was sexual assault. He's very specific. It wasn't rape. It was sexual assault. He was 17, not 18. It's like, bro, why is that important? Why are you being a nitpicker on these details? Why do you know so much as well?
There was just some sexual harassment, sexual assault, right?
Somebody said to me that they
so let me just say, let's just say there's some sexual assault there.
I love that. I love how Brendan just big broed him there. Right? Look here, he just big broed him. Look at Brian. Look at how sad he looks. That was pretty good.
Even at 16, 17, I have no friends. Do you
remember this, by the way? This used to be something that Brendan used to do. He doesn't do it anymore. Do you remember this was part of Brendan's shtick? He'd be like, I don't know anybody. I don't associate with people. I don't know them. They're not in my... He used to be very proud about boasting about, I have no diddlers in my community, in my circle. Everybody's a badass. We're all David Goggins. We're all hunt. We fish. We fucking fuck our wives, look after our kids. We're beasts of dads. He used to boast about that. But ever since Chris got cancelled for diddling and Brian got accused of grape, he doesn't say these things anymore. This whole sentence and saying is gone.
Even close at 16 or 17, there's any sexual assault ever. Not even well, do you don't remember that one? Never.
Yeah.
My 35.
Exactly, Uche. It's like when a guy knows the age of consent in every state and every European country. Red flag. Exactly. Uche knows exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. Imagine being this clued in and this knowledgeable about the Judge Kavanaugh case. Oh, he was 17. Oh, actually, it wasn't rape. It's like, let's look in your closet, young man.
5 years.
Yeah.
Has there ever been, not even close.
Yeah.
So for him to be Supreme Court Justice, it's a little dicey.
Justice.
It's a little, and people are like, dude,
Justice.
he was 17. Doesn't get a free pass.
Here's my...
If that's your mentality at 17,
yeah.
It's going to be, listen, not that you should be...
For once, I agree with Brendan here. Brendan's actually making a really good point. Maybe you shouldn't be cancelled for life, but should you be Supreme Court Justice if you've been found to have done something as heinous as forcing yourself onto somebody when you were 17, 18? Probably not. When you get accused of those type of crimes, maybe the privilege of those type of positions, maybe even the role of being a podcast host, being a comedian, maybe those things shouldn't be in your lane. You can allow to get another normal job, but maybe you shouldn't be on stage entertaining crowds when you've got that sort of shit on your jacket. Maybe. For once, I agree with Brendan.
And for your entire life, you shouldn't be Supreme Court Justice.
Well, my thing is this. I actually personally, as Christine Blasey Ford seems a little off, right? She seems, to me,
smart lady.
She seems a little crazy.
Nice bit of victim blaming there from Brian. Nice bit of victim blaming there from Brian.
Does she? You don't think she seems a little intelligent?
She seems, I don't know. I don't know enough about her. But
you know a lot about the case. You know about how what age Judge Kavanaugh was allegedly when he did what he did. You know about what he allegedly being accused of, but you don't know much about the case.
But I'll tell you this. I believe her, and this is why I believe her. Right? And it doesn't matter because there's no corroborating evidence. But I will say this about
she's a research psychologist at Stanford University.
Yeah, I'm sure
I mean,
she is.
smart
I'm sure
lady.
she is. I'm sure she is. She didn't want to do this. Like, she didn't want to come out. And she was obviously shrinking. Like, if she had been somebody who had been trying to, break into fucking entertainment.
I agree. If it was like a
but
former
this one didn't want to do this, right? So she told her husband 6 years before, she talked about it in therapy, and she told some people. So she'd been kind of talking about this for 6 years. From what I understand, this kid, Brett Kavanaugh, came in, he was 17 or whatever, stumbling drunk. I think from what I understand, he got on top of her. Somebody turned the music up, and then she started to scream, and he covered her mouth.
Wow.
And then, so he was on top of her, and then somebody jumped on both them, and they fell off.
So in Brian's head, because it didn't technically happen, he was about to grape her, but somebody else interrupted, so you can't say he's a rapist, and he shouldn't be punished for something that didn't actually happen. The technicalities, the semantics. Brian Callen's amazing. He was telling us from time ago about what he might be accused of. He was already signaling his guilt back in the day, allegedly.
Okay. And she did mention the 3 other people that were in the room. And actually, Brett Kavanaugh, in his weird diary, because he got the diary, has those people in that time frame going out for skis, for brewskis. So to me, I'm left with a really, really complicated. Like, if I'm a senator, this is how I look at it. I go, I do believe her. I believe that kid at 17. I went to college down there. I knew Georgetown prep kids.
I went to college down there, as in, like, I was a college kid once. You know what college kids do. You know how it is sometimes. You get drunk. You see a girl lying in her bed. You think that's your girlfriend. You want to make her your girlfriend, so you just lay on top of her, innit? That's almost like what he was about to say. Like, what? What are you talking about? Like, what? If you go to college, you are more like, what? Huh? Say what you want to say. Say what you actually mean to say here, Brian.
They're pretty entitled. And this kid grew up in a bubble. Brett Kavanaugh grew up in a bubble, make no mistake. Okay, he grew up in a bubble.
Speaking about yourself?
So whether or not he did that when he was 17, he was stumbling drunk. Maybe he was blacked out. Who the fuck knows? I don't know. He obviously drank to excess all the time. We know.
He's making so many excuses for this guy. It's fucking incredible.
That. Here's my question. It's a question. Are we willing now to say what you did as an adolescent? If you did a bad thing as an adolescent, whether it was...
Hey. Before he says what he has to say, let's interrupt him. If you did some grape stuff when you're a teenager, I'm sorry. But because of how heinous and how disgusting and how diabolical that crime is, it's perfectly within reason for people to judge you in your adult years for that thing that you did in your teenage years. That's the negative of doing those type of things. That's why you shouldn't do those type of things. You shouldn't do it, obviously, because it's abhorrent. But if you're not doing it because you don't want to be punished, then the fear of it impacting you later on in your life is also very prevalent, and you probably should have that in the front of your mind. But for Brian, if you did something when you're underage, it doesn't count when you're older. If you did something when you're under 18, then when you're over 18, it shouldn't count anymore. Okay.
Kill somebody, rape somebody,
Can't be
sexually assault
Supreme
somebody.
Court justice.
Wait, hold on. Sexually assault somebody, stomp somebody into the ground in a bar fight, whatever it is. We know that in our court of laws, we seal a juvenile's record for that reason, right? And the reason we seal a juvenile's record, I think up until they're 18, depending on the state.
Jesus Christ, why does he know all this stuff? Why does Brian Callen know all of this stuff? Is he a true crime buff? Or does he just spend time researching in his spare time to see where he would be if somebody came out from his college days and said, hey, Brian Callen allegedly did X, Y, and Z? Why does he know so much about this sort of stuff?
Is because we know that a 17-year-old, 16-year-old, 15-year-old's brain is different. It's still developing.
It's
and
different.
Add alcohol
but
to
it's
it.
different.
They
But
do
even
things.
17 and 18, you still know rape and sexual assault.
Well, so here's what I'm.
Because 17, that didn't even cross my mind.
Here's my caveat.
Again, well done, Brendan. I agree with Brendan. And look at Brian arguing against why you should be okay for people to grape when they're underage. For once, Brendan is talking sense. Let's hear Brian's response to this, his defense why it's okay for a kid not to know that it's wrong to do such heinous things.
Here's my caveat. Here's my caveat to this.
Please have a caveat.
We also know that 17, sometimes 17 and 18-year-olds are tried as adults for that exact reason.
Yeah.
Like you knew what the
That's
fuck
bad.
you were doing, right?
That's bad.
The question becomes,
How long do you penalize them
well,
for?
no, it's not even that. It's
my thing is that if there's any history of it, you can't hold a
Love this podcast. Don't let Brian finish his thought, right? Keep interrupting him while asking him questions, but then not let him finish. Pièce de résistance, T-Fat-K.
position of the Supreme Court justice.
yeah.
You should listen. You shouldn't. You can do some other job,
sure,
but you shouldn't be a school counselor.
Right.
Agree.
You shouldn't be a Supreme Court justice.
But let me ask you this, Brendan.
Shouldn't be a therapist.
As a senator.
Oh, how do you pronounce therapist? Therapist. How the fuck did he pronounce therapist there? What?
Other job,
sure,
but you shouldn't be a school counselor.
Right.
You shouldn't be a Supreme Court justice.
But let me ask you this, Brendan.
Shouldn't be a therapist.
As a senator, you have to.
Shouldn't be a therapist. Shouldn't be a therapist. Shouldn't be a therapist. Shouldn't be a therapist.
As a senator.
Shouldn't be a therapist.
As a senator, you have to vote yay or nay. Ready? Somebody comes up and they as compelling as their testimony may be to you, there's still no evidence. And for me,
it's his word against hers.
Right. So for me, what I do is I go, see, the problem is.
Yeah, big up Darsky the Flow for sure. He definitely had a meeting with his lawyer, innit? This sounds like somebody that was like, doing his due diligence. Are we covered? Do we have enough in the bank account? Do we have contingencies in place? Do we have that house around on the lake that we can move to if the press kind of bombard me at or doorstep me, wherever that thing is when they come to your door and shit? Like he's got things in place. He's probably got pre-written statement he's gonna put out. He's got a video he wants to put out. God damn it, he knows so much about all this shit, man. It's kind of weird.
We're talking about methodology right?
But here's the other problem I have. He wouldn't do the lie detector test. Right? He was like, no.
No, she did the lie detector test. She took a lie detector test.
He would.
I don't know. First of all, those are not.
I know they're not 100% accurate, but just the fact he wouldn't even.
How do you know this, Brian Cullen?
Do it.
But what I'm saying is that again, even all that stuff isn't. And there's dispute about her coaching somebody. My issue is this. I found myself going, even though I may believe her, if I had to vote yay or nay, I have to go on. The precedent has to be, if you're going to accuse somebody, we have to have some evidence, don't we?
Some evidence.
Brian seems to be a real stickler on evidence. I wonder why. Is it because maybe the stuff that he got accused of was like 20, 30 plus years ago? And it's pretty impossible to have any evidence that would, make him look guilty. Maybe that's why he's so pushy about the evidence thing. You can accuse me what you can accuse me of, but unless you don't have evidence, I'm not guilty.
That's what I'm saying. And if you don't, then it's open season for anybody on the left or the right to be attacked.
It's open season for comedians too.
It has nothing to do with him. I don't know about his politics. I don't really think. I think he's probably, according to some people, that his voting record is not very conservative, but he seems to be a very partisan guy, right? He seems to be a Republican judge. So, I try not to get into that. I'm just looking at, it's a complicated thing. I found myself going.
Human being I've seen in a long time.
He's the least.
He is sexiest. He is hideous.
Listen, when he was younger, I don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man. I found myself going, and
I felt bad for the girl.
You've got to have some corroborating evidence.
I agree. I just don't like that there's any of this darkness swirling around your Supreme Court justice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
I don't want that.
Look, at the end of the day, she did come forward because she said it was her civic duty. I don't know. I have no problem believing that the guy used to get drunk and behave like an asshole.
No. Yeah,
it seems like
forcing yourself onto somebody who's behaving like an asshole. Man, that's really a bummer. Why do you do that, bro? That's not cool, man. What? Way to fucking way to undercut the severity of what he did. Hey, man, that's not cool. forcing yourself on someone like that, man. Do better, dude. It's like, huh?
Like he
I
had,
like beer. I
yeah,
still like
he
beer.
was a blackout
Bear.
drunk.
I still like beer.
Yeah.
Beer, brother,
he was
not
a
bear.
black-
My friends like beer. We love beer. Why'd he do that?
Beer, not bear.
It's so funny.
He liked his beer.
It's so great when he did that. That was the best part of the thing. I watched every second of it. I was like, look at this. It's so old school what we're doing. Just all,
You know, if you take a lie detector test, if you
all
take
white people.
Xanax, it can completely negate it. Keeps you.
Have you? I've never heard that in my entire life. Why does Brian Callen know this stuff? If you take Xanax, allegedly you can pass a lie detector test. Why does he know this?
Like totally calm. There are a lot of ways to
Try that, B.
There's a lot of ways.
No,
They
that's-
say,
what I'm
I know, try it.
What do you mean?
Try it and see if that works 100% of the time. Like
Apparently,
we've taken a lie detector test.
yeah, but
Anyway, that's the clip. That's the clip. Absolutely hilarious, isn't it? Absolutely hilarious how defensive Brian Callen was of Judge Kavanaugh. Also hilarious how much of the case he happened to know. The exact particularities and details that most people probably didn't really keep an eye on. You maybe were watching it from afar just to see what was going to happen. But Brian seems to be very well versed in, what is and isn't lawful when it comes to sexual assault, harassment, the R word. He seems to be very knowledgeable about that sort of stuff. I wonder why. Okay, and next a clip, but let's continue on. If you're enjoying the stream, you like what you see what you like, make sure you like the stream, press the like button down below. Give me a like, please. Don't be stingy. Give me a like, please. Don't be stingy. Let's continue. This is another fascinating clip. Big up the big up the Joe Rogan subreddit. Oh no, Fire and the Kid subreddit actually. Brogan's mic drop moment. This is another great clip. Big up these guys because this clip is absolutely, truly fascinating. Because I think Rogan is being 100% sincere and serious here. I don't think he's joking. I don't think he's trying to be humorous. I legitimately think he believes everything he's saying in this particular clip. Just watch this. Absolutely wild. Wild. Let's zoom in a bit here. Let's get this sorted and let's go. Watch this. Watch this clip. Please watch this clip.
Beta blockers are a banned substance under the World Anti-Doping Code. They would not be allowed to compete at the Olympic Games, but it's used en masse by professional orchestral musicians.
That's interesting. Wonder why professional orchestra musicians would find that helpful.
It allows them to focus.
Well, I think the hand gets more stable. It's my guess. I'm not a musician, but
Interesting. Because I wouldn't think that they would be, especially in a large group of them, they've been working together, they practice. I wouldn't think they'd be that anxious.
Rogan cannot get his head around why orchestra musicians would need to have a drug or take anything that could help calm their nerves while they're playing in like 100-piece orchestras and shit in massive arenas to a captive audience that's completely silent and listening to every single thing that you're playing. He can't picture why they'd be nervous. To him, it's like, it's easy. You're with loads of people up on stage. If anything, it's probably the hardest thing to do because you have to be in tune with people next to you. You have to do things at a certain time. You practice and drill things, obviously in your studio, but then getting on stage and doing it in front of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people is completely different. Because if you fuck up, you might then help, lead to somebody else fucking up. So you have to keep yourself at a certain level. And if you fuck up, you could also lose your job. But in his head, he can't figure it out because only stand-up comedy is the thing that requires the most focus.
I don't know. Have you ever performed on stage at Carnegie Hall?
I performed on stage at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
wow.
Rogan being a fucking sassy guy. Well, I performed at Madison Square Garden. I hummed a stall at Madison Square Garden. I screamed about Obama and his brown suit for an hour, right? in MSG, huh? I fucking bloviated about the benefits of weed to my captive audience for the 1 millionth time in Madison Square Garden, actually. What a sassy guy. One more time. What a brilliant clip this is.
Beta blockers are a banned substance under the World Anti-Doping Code. They would not be allowed to compete at the Olympic Games. But it's used en masse by professional orchestral musicians.
That's interesting. Wonder why professional orchestra musicians would find that helpful.
It allows them to focus.
And I think the hand gets more stable. It's my guess. I'm not a musician, but
Interesting. Because I wouldn't think that they would be, especially in a large group of them, they've been working together, they practice. I wouldn't think they'd be that anxious.
I don't know. Have you ever performed on stage at Carnegie Hall?
I performed on stage in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. I mean,
He's such a little sassy bitch sometimes, isn't it? Rogan could be such sassy. He can be so unnecessarily sassy. The guy wasn't being a cunt. He was basically trying to illustrate, hey, being in an orchestra band is pretty nerve-wracking. Big up Ricky Pitcher. This is because Rogan has no talent. Even playing in a band is nerve-wracking. That's why so many musicians turn to drugs. Exactly. Big up Wolf Cat with a gun. Joe gets confused easily and often. Is this what Alpha Brain does to you? Exactly. Alpha Brain does the opposite of what it should be doing. It doesn't focus you, doesn't make you clear-minded. It actually muddies your brain. Alpha Brain's like it's like booze and a pill, you know? Exactly. Big up Ryan Harty. Joe is so dumb he thinks nicotine makes him smarter. Exactly. Yeah, Rogan name dropped himself. Rogan name drops himself is fucking brilliant. Name dropping yourself is fucking hilarious. Exactly. Wake up. Why would anybody need drugs to work out? Exactly. Young old vibes. Not everyone wants to be the center of attention. Exactly. You can't comprehend it. You can't comprehend why somebody wouldn't want to be on stage all on their lonesome, screaming into a mic or humping the stool like they're a fucking zombie Kardashian. Some people just want to, be a part of a collective effort, contribute to the collective, contribute to the collective output. But in Rogan's mind, it doesn't make any sense. Carnegie Hall isn't near to the MSG. I'm a fucking top class comedian, I am. Next clip. Fight companion is going great, B. This is something that I think Adam22 learned from Rogan. I think Adam22 might have learned the whole bad podcasting thing from Rogan. Because look at this shit. Look at how out of order and how unnecessary this is. And the person that suffers, of course, is fucking Brian Callen.
Is you start thinking about him as the guy that just lost.
That's
you don't
so
think
wild
about
to
him.
me.
Yeah,
I don't.
I don't either.
Especially for somebody that started boxing late in life.
I think
He started when he was 23.
I don't
bro.
think.
And
I
he's a
still think
bronze
that
medal
Tyson
winner
Fury
in the
fight
Olympics at 23.
with
Did you not hear him talking?
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I'm
Interesting.
finishing my thought.
Yeah, but
Because-
you're finishing your thought while he's talking. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but
Go ahead, B.
we were already having our conversation, and then you moved on. I'm saying that the idea that Tyson Fury didn't have a bag of tricks and
What a cunt Rogan is, isn't it? What an unnecessarily rude, condescending, patronizing cunt he can be sometimes. I know. Talking across each other when you're more than two people on a podcast can be annoying. It's more annoying because Rogan specifically gets his guests to wear headphones so they can monitor their voice, so that you stop interrupting. Because if you can hear somebody through your headphones, you're more likely to let them finish their thought. But when you're speaking over each other like you do in a bar or normally, you're more prone to kind of talk over each other and interrupt. So that's why he basically forces people to wear headphones. That's the main reason. But in this particular clip, if you actually watch it carefully, Brian Callen speaks first. And then Baba, this guy, Mr. Interrupter-in-Chief, he's the one that comes in and starts talking to fucking Brian Simpson. Brian actually speaks. He's the one that's speaking. Brian asks a question. He throws it out there. But Brian's the one that's speaking, and Brenda responds to that individual question. Then they start having their own conversation while Brian's continuing speaking. So it wasn't like he was not listening to Brendan speaking. Brendan actually interrupted him. That's the actual fucked up thing about it. Watch it one more time.
Is you start thinking about him as the guy that just lost.
That's
you don't
so
think
wild
about
to
him.
me.
Yeah,
I don't.
I don't either.
Especially for somebody that started boxing late in life.
I think
so. Brian's speaking now, especially somebody that started late in life. Brian Simpson makes a throwaway comment. It's not even a question. He makes a throwaway comment in response to what they're talking about. Then Brian Callen continues his thought that he was, speaking about earlier on. He continues his fucking thought. So he's speaking now. And of course, Brendan, whenever he sees Brian talking, he can't help but interrupt.
Started when he's 23.
I don't
Brendan immediately interrupts and starts talking to Brian Simpson.
think. I
And he-
think.
and
I
he's a
still think
bronze
that
medal
that
winner.
He's still talking.
Tyson
in the
Fury
Olympics
fight
at 23.
He's still talking. Brian's still talking.
Did you not hear him talking?
Yeah, but
Look at Rogan talking to him like he's a child. Rogan talking to his own friends like they're fucking children. Look at Brian Simpson's eyes, by the way. Look at Brian Simpson's eyes. He's talking to his own friends like they're his kids or something. Like he's going to put them in a naughty corner. Honestly, man, Rogan, I love the guy, but he can be such a fucking cunt, innit? Why are you doing this to your friends? Why?
I'm just saying. I'm
Interesting.
finishing my thought.
Yeah, but
Because-
you're finishing your thought while he's talking. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but
Go ahead, B.
we were already having our conversation, and then you moved on. I'm saying that the idea that Tyson.
And big up Brian Callen for finally having a backbone and standing up to Rogan. Because Rogan does this a lot with Callen, because Callen's like the cuck, he's the in-house cuck, he's the in-house walking mat and stuff. People just do it. And obviously he's also a little bit, part of his comedic shtick is that he lets his friends kind of dunk on him for the lols. But there has to come a point where you draw a line. There has to come a point where you grow a bit of a spine. You stand up a bit straight. You're like, you know what? Let's relax. Let's relax. We're talking to me a certain way. Let's fucking chill out, because this is too much. This is so unnecessary as well. Like, really unnecessary. There was no need for this whatsoever. Brendan interrupts Brian, and then Brian continues his thought because Brendan interrupted him, but Brendan keeps talking because he's a fucking redact, and then there's two conversations going on. Brendan could have easily stopped talking. He heard Brian speaking too, but he didn't. So I think that's really out of order, man. Thoughts and feelings go out to Brian Callen. Thoughts and feelings go out to Brian Callen. How humiliating, man. Because someone's got money and shit, they can, they feel like they can do that to you. Like, nah, you can't just talk to me anyway. Anyway, continuing on. What do you guys think about this? Papa's Virgin of Mexican work drug. So somebody found an old version of Brendan's truck, but a truck that was painted in the same colors as Brendan's truck, but this truck obviously is a bit older. Don't you think it looks actually cooler in this older version of this truck? I think that's a Chevrolet, right? That badge is Chevrolet, I think. Look at this pickup truck. It's the same sort of color scheme. It's got the black front, the black bonnet, and then the rest of it is painted orange. And then Brendan's one's the next image. That's his one. I actually prefer the fucked up one. I'm not gonna lie. I think the fucked up one actually looks a lot better. I don't know what you guys think, but I think I actually prefer the fucked up version of the truck compared to fucking Brendan's one. I think Brendan's one looks a bit shit. I think the fucked up one looks way better. I know they're both kind of terrible, and they both look like, they both look like the type of trucks that you would ride around in if you were going to do a drive-by. If you're going to do a drive-by, if you're going to slay some ops, you would definitely drive one of those trucks for sure. Because, but I actually don't mind it. I'm going to lie. I don't mind this other one. This fucking one. Let it load in a minute. But Brian's one, I think, looks a little bit, too new, shiny. But I think the actual fucked up one doesn't look bad. If it loads, give me a second here. But I think the other one actually doesn't look too shabby. I actually don't mind how the other one looks. It actually doesn't look bad, all things considered. It could look worse, but it actually looks pretty decent. Let's let it to load up and then we can continue. What? I wouldn't even drive the Lightning if I was still doing drywall. Fair play. No? Okay, so I guess I'm the only person that likes the Lightning. I think he ruined it. I quite liked him. It was all orange and just the black bonnet. I didn't really mind that. I thought it looked pretty cool. But again, I have some trashy taste in cars. But I actually think the old version of this truck in this black and orange color scheme actually looks pretty cool. I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. I think it looks kind of hard. But Brian's one looks a bit weird. I could be wrong. What do you guys think? I could be fucking wrong. But I actually don't mind this older version. It actually looks pretty cool like this. Like, again, it looks fucking fucked up as fuck, but I actually don't mind it at all. You know? Looks pretty decent to me. Looks pretty decent to me. Cool. Next clip. Cooked up smelling salts, round 2. Now where's the eye wash station? Let's watch this. This is a fucking funny one. I'm with everybody else on this. I think this whole smelling salts thing they do is really lame and really cringy. Just do fucking coke. Just do ketamine. Just do some real hard drugs. Like, this whole smelling salts thing is really flipping redacted. I don't get it. But I also think there are probably hundreds of men out there, middle-aged men, who see these guys doing smelling salts, and I bet a ton of them are ordering smelling salts. I bet you, if they have an affiliate link, they must be moving tons of smelling salts. There's probably loads of guys out there who also want to be part of the fucking JRE crew who are buying smelling salts to kind of do it with their own boys. Really redacted, because I'd much rather you do some actual hard drugs. But again, what do I know?
Hey man, give me some of those smelling salts.
Oh, let's go.
Man. Take it easy, bro.
Now you talking.
I could see you, man.
Time to come back. Let's go.
Hips, you gotta move your hips,
Get in
bro.
there, Shaw.
Get your hips into it.
Yeah!
Blocking.
Let's go, Brian.
Blocking. Oh, come on, you're good.
Man, that one's tough.
Devil horns. Swimming.
You have such power, bro. It's wild, dude.
Can I go back in?
Fuck yeah, you can. Give me one more, bro. That shit wear off?
Get it. Push it back. 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 Yeah, that's it. Oh, dude, no hands? Fucking no hands. Sean's got no hands.
I'm sweating.
Meanwhile, we're missing this.
Hold on, is Rogan actually high? Look at Rogan's face. Is Rogan actually high from smelling salts? He looks how I look after a couple of lines. Look at Rogan's face. Why does he look like that? Why is Rogan actually like that? Is Rogan actually high?
Hands. Sean's got no hands.
I'm sweating.
Meanwhile, we're missing this. Right.
Silhouette.
Wow, Rogan's actually buzzed. Rogan's actually buzzed from smelling salts. What did someone say? I said King Bayo. AZ, let us buy you some smelling salts. Nah, brother, man. I do much harder stuff than that. No, thank you. It's like when you're a kid and you see you can eat the most sour candy. Exactly, Yoko vibes. Exactly, it's so R-worded. This is something a 19-year-old dude who lives in an influencer house do on their podcast. Thank you, Jay. You know exactly what I'm talking about. There you go. Big up Quayla. I prefer whippets right before a deadlift PR. Imagine. That'd be fucking, honestly, could you imagine going to the gym and just pulling out a canister before you do a deadlift? Could you imagine? How people look at you? One more time. Rogan's actually high from this, you know.
Oh, dude, no hands? Fucking no hands. Sean's got no hands.
I'm sweating.
Hey, yo, big up Elephant Graveyard in the house. Wagwan Elephant Graveyard. Yeah. Oh yeah, shit, I keep forgetting. I need to set up I'm gonna do it this week actually. I need to set up the PO box. I'm gonna do it this week. I promise you guys, I'll do it this week. I'll set up the PO box this week. I'm gonna let all you guys know. Big up Uche.
Meanwhile, we're watching. We're missing this. Right.
Steal away the demons.
What? Is he tired or is he high?
Joe, I had no idea you could dance so well.
Yay. We did.
Wow. Joe was actually a bit high, innit? How would you get high from smelling salts? He actually looked like he was a bit high.
Hands? Fucking no hands. Joe's got no hands.
I'm sweating.
Meanwhile, we're watching. We're missing this. Right.
Steal away the demons.
Look at his face.
Meanwhile, we're watching.
Sweating.
Meanwhile, we're watching. Joe's got no hands.
I'm sweating.
Meanwhile, we're watching. We're missing this. Right.
Steal away the demons.
Yo, Joe is actually high. Rogan is actually a bit buzzed off of smelling salts. That's so lame. What a fucking loser. All that stuff he does. Going in fucking cold plunges, hunting, doing fucking... I think he bragged about using a bow and arrow in the rain for like an hour or something, which is a weird thing to brag about. He smells a bit of smelling salts and suddenly he's fucking high. And he's literally looks like he's gurning. It looks like he's actually gurning from fucking smelling salts. Yeah, exactly. Big up cheese food. AZ, he gets high from cold plunges. Exactly. What the fuck? Yeah, exactly. Rogan seeing stars. He's actually fucked. He's yeah. Oh, big up Assad. Oh, big up Assad. They off that Justin Timberlake. I wish it's not the same though, is it? I don't think coke vendors are the same as weed vendors. You know how weed vendors in America, you guys have the best ones that do really creative fucking packages. So when somebody dies, they'll make like, I don't know, some pack and it'll be their face, right? I wonder if people out there are pushing JT coke, JT ketamine, JT molly. Maybe the packaging is like his face or something. You know what I mean? Like, that would be fucking sick, innit? Like, this is the stuff that JT got pulled over for. This is that sexy back fucking MDMA, you know what I mean? You might catch a fucking sexual harassment charge off of this fucking MDMA. This molly might get you cancelled. This is the molly that this is the molly that Dr. Disrespect was taking when he was texting a 17-year-old. This is that ketamine that Disrespect was on, innit? This is that ketamine that Disrespect was fucking boofing when he was talking to a literal teenager. God damn it. Rogan is absolutely sourced from sniffing smelling salt. Do you know how lame that is? Do you know how lame that is? Especially as a party boy myself, considering the amount of stuff that I've shoveled up my nose, up my rectum and shit. For somebody like this to be high off of smelling salts is kind of losery. It really is losery. Like, oh God. Grow up. Do some hard drugs or don't do any. Please. For the love of God. Please, for the love of blood clot God. Alright? But yeah, big up Rogan, man. Rogan was fucking smashed. Let's do another one. Let's do actually, what's the time? Oh, it's 3. Okay, cool. Let's do a bit of chin before I have to start getting prepared for the gym. Let's do chin. 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 Chin time. Chin's got a new vlog. Chin's got a new vlog. Chin's got a new vlog. Let's see what Chin's talking about, all right? Chin did a vlog. It's called Behind the Scenes of the Fire and the Kid 1000th episode. Let's see what this guy is talking about. Let's see what he's talking about. Let's see what he's talking about. Big up Don Dotter. Big up Don Dotter in the house. Big up Don Dotter in the house.
Hello, Chin here. This is the week that we officially hit 1,000 episodes on Fighter and the Kids, so I figured why not do a vlog about it. I'll probably vlog for today, tomorrow, and then Wednesday.
I'm not gonna lie, I love this little dorky. I know it's not dorky, and I know everybody that's got a camera probably has this, right? But I love this little dorky thing that he does. This little thing, this little attachment, this little SLR strap thing that he's got in his backpack. I love how lame this is. Look at that. Look at this. He clips it onto his little it's a quick release SLR holder, isn't it? Like, you never know. It's such a fucking dork, man. Look at him. Oh God, I fucking love it. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. Oh, big up Chin.
And then put this out on Sunday. So enjoy. As you can see, my car is packed with camping gear because I'm going camping later this week.
By the way, be honest with me in the stream chat. Be honest with me. Guys in the stream chat, be honest with me. I'm a black man, so I don't like to spend too much time in the great outdoors anyway. But is it normal? Is it normal for a guy to camp as much as Chin does on his own? And he's actually got a nice apartment with 3 fucking balconies. Is that normal? Do you guys camp quite often? Are there people in the stream chat who like to camp like on the weekends all the time? Is that normal?
No, we can't. You can't.
I'm vlogging because it's episode 1000 week.
Oh, shut my God.
There's Marcus and there's Casers.
Shut the fuck up.
Come on, dude, enjoy.
Get your head out of your ass.
It's a little early. It's not 1,000.
It's actually a really nice studio, isn't it? Not gonna lie. The ceilings are a lot higher than I thought it would be. Honestly, the studio is really nice. It's actually a really big studio. Probably a lot more space than they need, but it's really fucking cool. What are you guys saying about the camping thing? I fucking love camping and hunting. In Australia, people will go camping every weekend. Okay, fair enough. Maybe I'm wrong then. Andy Ward, camping equals catching bodies. The only missing with Chin is the K. Exactly. Define normal, says Jack Donaghy. It's normal for people that like to camp. Okay, fair play. Fair play. I didn't know. I wasn't aware. My sister camps all the time with her husband. Never. I don't want to end up in the crime show. Big up Z, Elephant Graveyard. People here in Colorado camp a lot. Okay, cool. So I guess because I'm in London, you know, fucking metropolitan city, not many places to camp unless you want to live outdoors, unless you're unhoused, aka homeless. I guess it's not really a big thing. Maybe if I did live somewhere like where Chin lives, where the great outdoors is only what, half an hour drive, he's next to these amazing lakes and forests and shit, why not do it? I get it. Uche, it's normal if you're 19 years old with no responsibilities. I used to camp a lot, especially for festivals. Okay, fair play, fair play. Okay, I guess it's definitely an American thing. You guys just have way more nicer places to camp, I think, in general, than us. We don't have as good places to camp. I think you guys have way more cooler places to camp. Chin's camping is like bringing a Best Buy with you. Exactly. I'm camping the entire summer, says Coyle. Oh, really? Where? Where are you camping? Where are you camping? Is this festival things or just like for vibes? Pick up Coyle in the chat.
9-9.
That is true.
So you're a little early.
But week 1000 it is. Okay. Let's get to work. Okay. Once the Apollo X8P is on, then I turn on the computer.
I want to see the complete breakdown of the equipment. Just search my gear list and video on my channel. Tons of the TV. For fuck's sake, fucking give me a second, let it to load a bit. Let's wait, there you go. Hey, yo, King Bayo, you read my mind. AZ, do a video of a black British man goes camping for some race one day. You read my mind. That's what I plan to do in September. I want to go to that festival called Draaimolen in Amsterdam. Well, it's just outside of Amsterdam in a place called Tilburg. And I plan to do some videos, some nice, maybe not vlogs, but I'll make some videos, record some clips of me attempting to camp. And, you know, my whole experience. Don't get me wrong, I'll be cheating. I won't be having my own, I won't build my own camping tent and shit. I'm gonna buy like a pre-made one there because they sell them and they're pretty cheap and it's pretty handy, especially if I'm traveling to Europe. I don't want to lug fucking camping equipment on a fucking budget airline flight with me all the way to fucking Holland. That's just annoying, and I'm lazy, so I'd rather just have it pre-built. But I will be documenting my experience in the great outdoors. So let's see. I'm just curious to see if my bum fits in the tent. I'm curious to see if my fucking ass fits in the fucking tent. That's what I'm curious to see. Oh, you can't hear me? Whoopsie. The fucking thing popped. Can you hear me now? 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 Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is that good? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Cool. Apologies for that. I think the audio interface went a bit kapoopy. Right? The audio interface went a bit kapoopy. So it should be fine now, right? Should be fine. We hear you, yeah? We hear you. Cool. So you can hear me now, yeah? Cool. Let's continue.
Very weird. What's up, Marcus?
What up?
Pleasure. It's from Jackson.
Oh, nice. Who gave one to you?
I bought it, remember?
Oh.
Yeah, I like their stuff.
Thoughtful thought.
That is last time. For episode 1000, that guy Ryan Johnson's making a 1000 song. So just for that one, we'll probably put it in the middle, but then after that, we'll probably place it there to make it more even.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. That's a great idea. You still there? So formatting the SD cards from the main wide camera, which is a Sony a7S III, and this is a Sigma. My eyes are bad. 24 to 70. We'll switch these out every now and then, depending on the guests. All right, fully formatted. Good to go. And now I gotta take this lens off and put this one on. So I can put this lens on there. All right, let's enjoy this madness. Thank goodness. Echo, low latency monitoring. All right, we're good now. Okay. I'll turn on the Zoom recorder once the show starts. Here are the cameras. There's the Casey. It doesn't seem like he's in a good mood. Oh, wait. Gosh damn it. It says it's on manual focus for some reason. Oh, I hate this shite. I hate this. Focus.
This guy does a lot of work, innit? And everything is kind of set up, but he sets up the entire thing for the Fire and the Kid, the Shop Show. What did these guys do then? They're there early too. Why is he doing everything? Weren't there two other white men in the studio earlier on? Why is he doing like everything? I don't understand. He does so much work, bro.
There he is in focus. Okay, and this is the studio. I've shown this many a time, but closer look. Still got to fill in those gaps right there.
Where's Tiger Fig?
Right there.
Where's the little Tiger Fig gone? The Tiger Fig's finished.
Right there.
They're technically not on camera, so you actually have to fill those in if you didn't want to. So technically they're not in frame.
So Casey's quite the nerd. Okay, what else do I need from here? Oh, this. My boy Paulo from Tokyo sent me and the Stooge a bunch of his hot sauces. So shout out to Paulo from Tokyo. You the man. His name's Paulo.
Oh, really? From
I'm
Tokyo?
because it's 1000 week.
Oh, nice, dude.
Yeah.
What number are we on Shop Show? If you include Big Brown Breakdown, Below the Bell.
389.
Fucking hell, man. It's a big studio, isn't it? It's actually quite nice. Good bits of light in here. This bar's quite cool. The bar hanging on top. Well lit, well produced. Well, whatever thingy studio. But the podcast and stuff is fucking shocking. A lot of stuff goes into all this stuff. But I love how Brennan also is a stickler for saying that. Why do you always say, oh, if you include? Like, it doesn't include that. Whatever the show is what number it is. You don't include the past episodes of another show to like inflate the numbers. It's just whatever the number is. It's a weird thing he's always kind of assessed by. If it's that important, why not just keep the below the belt name then? If that's so important to you, why not just add the numbers onto the Shub show? Why start from one? Weird, but whatever. It's a weird thing. Let's continue.
Okay, not that much.
500.
It's once a week, though.
Yeah, 400's coming up, though. That's good.
All right, let's do it.
All right, everybody ready?
Vlogging 1,000 kbpi. Yo, it is Monday, June 10th. Summer is here, kids. Is there a better time of the year than summer popping? You got freaking summer travel.
Imagine working with him, man, and hearing him speak all day, every day, recording these shitty fucking podcasts, trying to do his little jokes and shit. Oh, yo. Now I understand why Chin doesn't edit. I kind of get why Chin doesn't really edit. Because it must be exhausting working with this guy day to day. Fuck going back in and editing clips and shit and editing the fucking raw thing. Let's just make sure there's nothing crazy in it. Insert the ads and just export. I'm not going about to edit and move. Like, fuck all that shit.
No ball, nothing better.
After recording the Shop Show.
All right, just wrapped up Shop Show and finished a meeting. Now back in TFAT-K, working on the titles and descriptions for Shop Show and the.
So he does Shop Show. He does meetings with podcast advertising companies. Then he does the editing and exporting of the show to audio and all the other platforms. God almighty, he works around the clock. What time did he even turn up to the studio? 9 a.m. or something. I'm curious to see what time he leaves. He might have been there since 8. So he does Shub Show and TFAT-K on the same day. This TFAT-K was the one that was 4 hours long. God almighty.
Hyperlinks for all the ads, the sponsors. I'm gonna do that and then get ready for Fighter and the Kid.
She goes, what's going on? I go, not much. She goes, can I ask you a question? I go, what? She goes, is she wearing sunblock? Oops. And my kids don't have any Mexican or any. My kids are white. They're pink. It was a bad situation.
After recording Fighter and the Kid?
Every purple thing you see there, that's pretty much just an overlay. So all those are different ads, and I have to find out exactly what the timestamp is for those. So I write them down here. You can see my writing is terrible, I know that. And then I got input into the audio in our CMS system, our podcast hosting site. Video is now done. It's already uploading to YouTube. I didn't show you guys that part. But, okay, that looks good. No restrictions. As of right now, there's no restrictions, so I'm going to go ahead and schedule this for tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. There we go. And schedule. All right, good to go. And this is what the audio looks like with all the ad reads. These are called live, the ones that you see that are the bluer color, and the purple ones right next to it are ad markers. So the blue color is basically all the baked in ads, and I have to select that exact audio where it starts and where it ends on the ad read, so that in the future, I think within 6 months or there's a certain amount of months later, that I should talk to you like this. So in a few months in the future, that little part that I selected for each ad read, we had I think 5 or 6 ad reads today, which is a lot. So for each thing that I select, it will be dynamically replaced with another ad read that's more up to date for when people listen to this podcast maybe 3 months later. So obviously there's no more older ads that the promo codes don't work and all that stuff. And then the purple thing you see there, that's one that I have to insert right after that ad read so that another dynamic ad can be placed in there as well. So
That's quite interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know there was a thing where you could set up your ads in a way that they could be updated. But I guess it makes sense. It's just, it's not really dynamic. It's just you put in a timestamp on what your ad is, and then the advertising company could then just insert the new ad into that slot. You know, it's not really that big of a deal, but you know, I didn't know that was a thing.
Those are ad reads that we didn't record here. It's not burned in. It's just dynamically replaced with whatever ad read they want to put in there. All right, it is now 6:30. I have to shut all this stuff down, lock up, pack up, and head home. So I got here, I think at 7, and I'm leaving here probably around 6:45, 7 o'clock. And then when I go home, I have.
God damn it, bro. And it's not like he's getting there at 6 or 7 or 8 and just hanging around on his phone. He's spending a lot of the time setting up equipment, having to be turned on, but having to be, you know, clocked in and listening to them and shit. He sits there, watches the podcast. This is a lot, bro. This is a lot. This is a lot. And I have a sneaky feeling, given how much of a, you know, piece of shit Brandon could be, I don't think this guy gets compensated enough. No way. He works around the clock, basically gives his T-Fat-K and Thick Boy his entire life, and he doesn't really get much thanks for it, to be honest. Not many vacations, and probably doesn't get paid what he should get paid.
I have to also double check everything again. Also, the new laptop arrived finally.
Oh, big up Wolfcam with a gun. It's also local too. I get ads in Espanol. Okay, cool. That's pretty cool. So those ads are also geolocation based as well. I like that. Quite a cool little system.
This sucker has been so slow. I didn't realize it, but this is actually 6 years old. So this is really old. And MacBooks really start slowing down after a few years. So hopefully no more buffering videos.
Oh, he got a new
videos,
MacBook.
And it'll just play perfectly.
He finally got a new MacBook. Yay. Big up Chin. Happy for him. He got a new MacBook, bro. Chin got a new fucking MacBook. Well done. Props to him.
Fine. I just noticed my camera's not focusing correctly. It's jumping to manual focus for some reason. So if you guys know a fix for that on a Sony ZV-E1, please let me know. And yeah, Chris just...
The Crystalia text message. Jesus Christ. Well done, Chin. Well done, fucking Chin. You got the laptop, man. What an achievement. Happy for him. Happy for him. Fucking finally. Why can't they just leave the cameras up? If they've got a studio with keys and it's in a secure facility and they've got CCTV and security, why can't you just leave the cameras up? People in the stream chat that do fucking production or that do stuff like this themselves in a normal job, why can't you just leave the cameras already set up? Is that a thing that you do? Is that part of the process of being a producer? Like setting up equipment and taking it down? Why don't you just leave the cameras up? If you know you're going to be there in a couple of days anyway and the studio's locked. It's California. Oh, what? Because it might get stolen. What? Why take it all down? Cleaning crew. Oh, yeah. Big up Eddie D. Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that. True. You can't just keep all that stuff out, innit? Yeah. Okay, cool. You probably have to double lock everything. Yeah. Okay. Fair play. Fair play. For insurance, Dylan. Yeah. Okay, cool. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. Sorry about that. You guys are completely right there. That makes all the sense.
I had to send Mark the Firing the Kid video file as well so he can upload to Twitter. So I just did that right now.
Big up Brandon. Cameras are used in other sets. Eyes emoji. Yeah, we know what you're talking about. We know what you mean. We know what you're saying. We know what you mean.
6:52 right now. Everything's done in the studio. Let's head home. It is now Tuesday morning. Let's head over to Golden Hour and film an episode. What up, boys? What's up, kid?
Cart, bro.
What up, Eric? Good to see you, man. What up, Nick?
What the fuck does that guy do? Is he Nick's assistant? What does this black guy do? They've got so many employees. What does this guy do? No laptop, just on his phone. Like, what does this man do here? Is he Nick's assistant? Nick's toy boy? Chin's toy boy? Like, why is he here?
What's up, kid?
Cart, bro.
What up, Eric? Good to see you, man. What up, Nick? My cart's not here. I don't need it anymore.
Your what's not here?
My cart.
Oh, cart that I like.
Why is Eric why is Eric just sitting there not talking? Looking into the distance. Why is Eric so weird? Look at him. Why is he just sitting there like that? While everyone's talking, having a chat, you know, doing that whole pre-work chat thing, he's just sitting there. Staring off into the distance. What is wrong with him? Could somebody explain what is wrong with Eric Griffin? Bloody hell.
Cart.
Oh, cart that I like. I want to steal.
It'd be like, okay, Brandon, so who can you beat up 2 people?
Hey yo, look at the stream chat. Look at my fucking stream chat. The black guy, diversity. No, look at it. Andrew Tate. He's there to simply prove that Papa isn't racist. Andy Ward, diversity hire? Question mark. Coilia, Shadow Realm BGL. Shadow Realm BGL. Are you saying shadows because he's dark and he's black? Or do you just mean shadows and just, you know, in the loose sense of the word? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Shadow Realm BGL.
What am I gonna say? Can, you know, Chris and I take you?
Nope.
You don't think Chris and I can?
No.
Oh, this is perfect. This is
Okay.
It's perfect. I love it.
We have video footage of stuff. If you, I don't know if Nick could pull it up because I don't know where it's at anymore. But
What?
me and Brian trying to take Brendan.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, dude! I'll save it, dude.
Yeah, save it. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like you keep the cards in a vault. So this is kind of like a weird thing that you actually don't. They don't actually have to. This could all be a scam. You know,
if it's a scam, then
they could just have pictures of the cards and like not actually. They could be selling the same card to thousands of people. And no one ever actually asked for the card, then they don't have to worry about it.
like a bank almost, right?
Yeah, like a
Borrowing
bank.
money.
Yeah, it's like a bank with money. That's how they're doing it. It's actually pretty like I was like, oh.
I hope not.
I know.
But especially if it's funny.
What I'm saying is, I know what you're saying. It's like, you know, you don't. I don't think to answer Nick's question is, I don't necessarily want to hear that because if you hear it, then you're gonna attach some negativity. to it. But it's okay that people talk about it.
Yeah, there's no context.
I'm just saying. I think it's okay if people have some that you're like. I wouldn't want to hear what like married couples.
Hey, Chin. If you're gonna do these vlogs, they're a bit dumb anyway and they're a waste of time. But at least just film the behind the scenes of you being a podcast producer. We don't want to see video clips from we don't want to see this. We just want to see your tism laced moving around and picking up of equipment and turning things on and off. We don't need to see this. We can just watch the gold now. We don't need to see, you know, maybe it's just me. But if we're going to do this whole behind the scenes thing, let's just keep it behind the scenes. We don't need to watch another angle of the golden hour from his fucking camera. It's just annoying.
Saying about other married
Oh
couples.
yeah.
You know,
Oh, that's fun.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, I
Because
love
we're
it.
in bed just
Yeah,
like,
oh, me too.
We left your birthday party like, can you believe it?
That's the best.
That's what you do.
That's the best.
The best person, if you want to get, if any reason is.
That's the most like nondescript black man I've seen in my life, isn't it? He's almost NPC-ish a little bit, no? Like he doesn't really say much. I don't really know why he's there. Like, you know, like
You're in bed just like,
me too.
who is that
we
guy?
left your birthday party like, can you believe it?
And he gets paid as well to hang out. Just gets paid to hang out. Like, what does he do? What does that guy actually do? Why isn't George there?
That's the best.
That's what you do.
That's the best.
The best person. If you want to get, if any reason is to get married, is to be able to talk mad shit about people.
And it stays there. Like, can you believe?
It's always moving, isn't it?
Today's the day, episode 1000 of Fighter and the Kid. And I can tell you who the guests are, the surprise guests are right now, because by the time you see this, you've already seen the episode. I gotta check my phone. We have Will Sasso, who's coming back, which is gonna be great. Michael Rappaport, Andrew Schultz, Chris DiStefano, and Chris D'Elia. How cool is that? I'll see you guys at the studio. And yeah, they're through Zoom, but guess what? Everyone lives far away, and Chris lives here, but he has another obligation in downtown Los Angeles, so just enjoy it, okay? We back.
Always the first one there. God damn.
There you go. Thank you, Brian Johnson.
Stuff like that.
And his outfit is screaming America.
Well, the outfit's screaming somewhat Napoli and mafia.
No. That's
They-
Stone Cold-ish.
It's brand.
Oh, wow, dude. That's good.
I can kind of see your hand holding it though, Chris.
Podcast is over. Everyone's gone. This podcast was 5 hours and 30-something minutes long. This is going to be a fun editing process. I'll see you guys in about 7 hours, 6 hours.
So what did he edit out of it? I guess because they record it, they must leave all the little setup bits involved. Maybe it does it go up to 5 hours? He did get it down to 3. So maybe chucking out all the fillers, right? Setting up the laptop, getting the person to connect. Maybe that could equal to 5, but it seems a bit excessive.
Quick little update for you guys. I got here about, probably close to 9. It is now 9:47 p.m.
Jesus
and I'm
Christ.
still editing.
Jesus Christ, bro. He brags about this, you know. He brags about this. He arrived at 9 and he's still there at 9. The only one there. So why does everybody else leave and he has to stay to so surely if you have to upload this episode, it has to get uploaded. Why doesn't everyone else stay with him? Why does he have to be the only one to stay to do it by himself?
The editing is not done yet. Why is it not focusing? Gosh dang it. Something's wrong with this camera. Okay, it seems to work now for some reason. Anyway, I'm still not done editing, but this is by far the longest edit for one episode I've ever done. This episode, like I said before, was over 5 hours long. And then just to get the Zoom video incorporated into the actual edit is already a challenge because I don't just do regular... I'll show you real quick. So I make sure I have a picture-in-picture frame of the Zoom video. And of course, when Andrew or any guest talks when they're on Zoom, if there's if there's a good amount of dialogue that the guest is saying, then I'll go ahead and just zoom in.
Was that George Floyd / Steven Crowder?
What did you say? Am I high or was that George Floyd or Stephen? That's fucking hilarious. That's fucking hilarious. Big up NJ Ranger. Jesus Christ, bro.
It's the full frame, as you'll see here, like
cool,
that.
Man. The new dad shit is the coolest. I'll be honest with you.
Isn't that great? I'm a new dad.
Yeah, we went to.
So I did that for all the guests. That's 5 different guests, and it's taking quite some time. And plus,
but you didn't need to do that, did you? You could have just kept it picture in picture. You didn't need to have them. You know, he did it extra just to make it look nice, but he didn't need to do that. You could have got the point across with just having them in the border, you know. But hey, if you like, I guess he's one of those type of people. I guess there's some people like this, right, who will create extra work for themselves because they like to work unnecessarily. Just take on other jobs and shit that no one asks him to do. So in a way, he can't maybe complain that he works so hard because he might actually take on jobs that he shouldn't be taking on, which then makes him have to stay there longer, you know? So maybe that's part of it.
Just the hard drive space for all this is insane. It's over probably 4 terabytes worth of footage,
Jesus
data.
Christ.
So it's going to take some time, and I'm guessing the export's going to be insane as well. And then the upload into YouTube, that's going to be a monster. So I'll keep you guys posted. I got to get this out by 2 a.m. for audio, so knock on wood that happens. Finally done editing. As you can see, there's a gazillion edits in this. If you're a video editor, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it is now 11:22 p.m. and it's barely going to export right now.
Jesus Christ, bro. He's been there since 9 and it's now nearly 12 a.m. and he's still there by himself.
I'm guessing this video, which is around, it's over 3 hours. It's probably going to take maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully less.
Big up Cloud K20. He does not close.
But I'll keep you posted. And I really, really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was pretty cool. 1,000 episodes. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, big up Elephant Graveyard. I didn't want to say anything, but is he making a bit more of this than it is? Is the editing process really that difficult? What did he actually do? Switch between the camera and the picture-in-picture to the main frame? Maybe cut some dicey things here and there? But he's acting like, you know... Let's be real. Like, what? I don't know. I don't want to get to whatever because he does work still hard. He was there since 9 in the morning. It's now 11 p.m. So let's give him that. But maybe he's making more out of the... He's starting to sound more and more like the type of person that talks to... You know, your type of colleague that will tell you how much they're working and almost like a weird humble brag complain type of thing. Oh my God, I'm so stressed. I got so much to do. And then you're like, yeah, that's your job, innit? Like... Or, I don't know, fucking delegate, offload some shit, but they don't want to do that. Like, I bet Chin's like the type of person. I bet they offer to get Chin an assistant, maybe to help him out. Maybe they'll get Chin his own black guy, but he says, no, I want to do it myself. So maybe we shouldn't feel bad for him. Maybe he does prefer to do it all on his own, so he gets all the credit, but then he also has to stay in the studio until 11 p.m.
All right, talk to you later. It is now 12:14 a.m. and we are at 70%.
Big up Don Dotter. When all you have to go home to are some cold glizzards, some cold glizzies, spending 16 hours at work isn't so bad. That's so depressing, but so true. When all you have is a fucking boiled egg and a sausage in some fucking sliced bread, right? All you have to do working all day long probably isn't the baddest thing, right? Isn't the baddest thing, all things considered. Oh my God, bro.
70% exported right now. Once this is exported, I have to make another 720p one and send it over to our guy Mark to upload to Twitter. Hopefully it'll be less gigabytes because this one right here, this file is at almost 30 gigs.
Why don't you just, again, why are they hiring other people? Why not just, if you've already maybe, don't get me wrong here. Am I being insane here? He has to export different versions, 1080p or higher, and a 720p for Twitter. If you've already exported it, why not just upload it yourself if you're currently on the computer? Why send to somebody else to upload on Twitter separately? Seems a little bit, unnecessary, no?
It's at like 28 point something. We shall see. Well, the good news is it's exported and fully uploaded to YouTube, as you can see there. I've been having some issues with the audio, so I'm working on that right now. What I'm doing right now is placing ad markers and live reads. This is the one thing that I don't want to say hate, but dislike the most because it's so time consuming and it's not like efficient. After this, I'm going to schedule it. Well, actually, no, I have to just let it go now because it's already 2:58. I usually schedule audio to come out at 2 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It is 2:58 a.m. right now, so as soon as I finish all the ad markers, I'm just going to do immediate release. All right, I'll catch up with you guys when I pack up and bounce. It's already published. Close that out. I'm going to just go ahead and eject all my drives here. My battery's at that much right now. Unplug these. Close this laptop.
Yeah, he's got a new laptop. He's got a new MacBook Pro. I recognize that angular fucking screen and that fucking keyboard any day. He's got a new laptop. Big up fucking Chin.
That much.
Finally.
Unplug
Finally.
these.
He's got the new MacBook Pro. Finally.
Close this laptop. And then the rest is just me packing up all my stuff to get out of here. But last thing to see is it is 3:09
3 a.m.
in the 8.
He's been there 9 to 3 a.m. in the morning. Oh my God. Nothing that T-Fat-K ever make or produces should require you to be in the studio for that long. This podcast is not that important. It's not that good. 3 a.m. in the morning.
a.m. this Thursday morning. Long day. What, 9 o'clock in the morning till 3 a.m.? I'm not even going to do the math. It's a long time, and I'm super tired. And I have a meeting at 8:30 a.m. this morning. So I'll have like a few hours sleep, I think. And I'm hungry too. Gosh dang it.
That's nearly a 20-hour workday, isn't it? That's like what, 16, 17 hours? 18 maybe? God damn it, bro. I don't think Brendan has worked one day in his entire life at T-Fat-K that's resulted or accumulated in 20 hours. Never. And Chin's just doing this on a casual one. Brendan has probably never in his entire life of doing the Fire and the Kid has ever worked more than even 10 hours. And this guy's doing nearly 20.
All right. I think that's it. Good night.
Spinning round, falling down and falling in love. Me and you make it feel like forever every time.
That's an Asian boy that works too much. Wow. Wow. Chin and brows, hashtag me and you. I'll post on Instagram, but this song officially drops on July 5th, 2024. I'm going to be there. July 5th, 2024, I will be there. I will be there July 5th, 2024. I'll be reacting to this song live. I'll be giving my play-by-play reaction to this song, and we're going to react to it seriously. We're going to sit down, we're going to dissect the lyrics, we're going to dissect the music video, dissect the mannerisms, dissect the voice inflections, the fucking subject matter of the fucking song, everything. We're going to do it on July 5th, because that's when Chin says this drops, right? He says it drops on July 5th. So we will be there. We will fucking be there. But God almighty, how depressing is it that this guy works 18-hour days at the Fire and the Kid? Imagine. I could never. Anyways, my friends, gotta leave it there for now. I'm gonna get a little bit of a mini nap, and then I'm gonna head off to the gym. So I need to get myself acclimated and all that malarkey. So thank you for tuning in. I'll be back again in a few hours in the morning. So hold on tight. I shall be back again. So thank you for tuning in. Make sure you smash the like button down below. Big up Don Dotter. Big up Don Dotter, man. DJ Handsome Black Man remix drops July 6th. HBM remix. What do you call it say? What do you call it say? Midnight Black or something. Midnight Black remix. Nightcrawler remix. Nightcrawler remix. Imagine. Oh my God, man. Anyway, big up everybody. Appreciate you, man. Much love as always. Smash the fucking like button down below. Do me a fucking favor. Help me out. And I'll see you guys again very soon. Okay? Thank you for hanging out, people. Don't be lame. Make sure you smash the like button for me down below. Help a nigger out, okay? Help a blood clot nigger out. And I'll see you guys again very soon. Okay? Cool.
placebo group, and then 2 people died. I'm going to do it. What's puppy talk if you don't mind. In the placebo group, 2